This conference will now be recorded.
Sorry about that. Town of Cottage Grove Plan Commission will hold a public meeting on Wednesday, May 27th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. at the Town Hall at 4058 County Road N. We have a forum. Meeting is properly posted. And I'll call the meeting to order. We'll approve the minutes of the April 22nd meeting.
Just so you know, if you didn't figure it out, the minutes in your packet were wrong. I passed out the April ones.
That's up, Mark.
Oh,
you put, yeah, okay.
the March ones were in the packet. It should have been April.
C9. Move approval of the April meeting.
We have a motion. Second. Motion by Mule, second by Hampton to approve the April meeting minutes as presented. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item, public concerns. The public's opportunity to speak to the Plan Commission about any subject that is not a specific agenda item. Yes,
Can I sit up there to the?
sure.
No, the chair's on the wrong side. You can put the chair the other way so you can see them.
Hey, you're out confused all night. Well, first I'd like to formally introduce myself. My name is Francisco Gomez Jr. I'm here with me and my dad's business, Frankie's Landscaping LLC. I'm here regarding our newly purchased parcel, lot 3 of Solheim Business Park. Mainly I'm here asking for a possible early design review from a design review from you guys. Basically, I know there's been a little bit of confusion because initially you mentioned was with this lot, we were planning to get a conditional use permit without putting a building on, but that's way long ago. We actually are already under contract of a building in there, and we actually expect our conditional use permit application to get accepted about 2 to 3 days from now. Accepted.
It has not been accepted as of now.
As of today, no, but it is expected to be accepted 2 or 3 days from now. Mainly, my main goal being here is to just get stuff moving, get construction in motion, and wanting to just take the right steps and get this approved. Anything I can't answer, Travis from Cleary is here to help me answer any questions as well.
Well, we can't officially take action on it because it's not agenda item number 1. The roads back in that part of development have not been dedicated to the town yet. And
I talked to the town engineer about that today, and I just asked, like, what's the soonest that we could expect to see that? And he said maybe about a month. But, these people should be keeping after the developer because it's all in his hands. But maybe in a month.
Continental's not already dedicated?
That's not dedicated either.
Really?
It's been a long process.
and you can thank your developer for that.
Okay.
I guess we can't expect. I
So
don't know that.
You're asking, so the next time that this group meets will be June 24th. And the application deadline for that is June 3rd. So if you haven't been accepted at the county yet, the soonest, in fact, you might not be at the county on their agenda till August now, because I think the 21st was their deadline, unless they're.
Travis will know a little bit.
I submitted to the county before the deadline. The county, being that Roger Lane is gone and being that they are down at a zoning official too, is obviously significantly backed up on everything. They didn't give us, they actually sent me back just a couple clarification points today. Expect them to have me an approved application for the conditional use permit side of stuff hopefully by tomorrow, by
Are we
Friday.
gonna get you on their July ZLR agenda then?
No, it'll be August. However, we could at least start working on the building process without the conditional use because the conditional use is for the outside storage, not the building. So that's what he's hoping to do is so that we can start working on the building set of stuff. But however, I understand that we can't get any building permits until the road is dedicated, which I understand that. There's a lot of planning side of stuff on our end of stuff before it to make sure that we're good to go with the design approval process. So I would prefer to get that out of the way. However, we can push on the developer for the dedication. I was under the understanding that it was only, I didn't think Pondella was, I thought that was already dedicated. So I apologize.
Because the radius is at the intersection, we're wrong.
I know they're working on it. They've been working on it.
So,
So I expect them to accept the Dane County ZLR to accept the application in the next 2 days. They just asked me to put the conditional use permit in a different format so they could read it better. Essentially what they did. So I'm in the process of doing it. But
So you're on track to be here, if, as long as that's true, you're on track to be here on June 24th.
if what you're telling me is about the dedication of the road, then I'm not sure. I apologize. I thought Pondella was already taken care of. I mean, we can start, as long as we have a preliminary, again, I have to submit state approved plans, which I'd like to get, and I don't want to do that and have to make revisions later. So, yeah. The design review, I understand you guys want to do both the conditional use and the design review at the same time. The design review is what, as far as the building goes, is what we care about on the immediate term. Because that way we can get the state approved plans and get in progress of starting to be built. And then hopefully by the time that the road is done within the month, then we're ready to rock. And we can pull it and start it.
I mean, you with him tonight?
Yeah.
Or You're talking about another lot.
Well, I'm here for multiple lots, but on his specific lot, the DNR just accepted the stormwater or a portion of the stormwater this morning. So the DNR has basically already hedged that. They're good to go. They're in progress of being good to go. Yeah. So
I'm trying to get moving on this. That's just the goal.
the sequence of it just is difficult because we have to wait for design approval, which then we can't finish the plans of the building without design approval. And then after it gets design approval, we wait for the state approved plans to build. So we're just trying to hedge this a little bit to make the timeline a little bit tighter. That's all we're trying to do.
So you're asking them for an earlier special meeting.
Based on, but that obviously has to do with what your restrictions are with notifications.
Yeah, it's a week.
So
A little more than a week because the mail is so slow. We're supposed to
No,
have
that's
it
fine.
by the week.
I guess to be very frank, part of me is thinking that, here we are trying to jump through hoops, especially for you, when your developer, has drugged this project out for so long. We're almost crossing generations. I'm exaggerating, but,
It's been 3 years with us.
it's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Sorry, no,
Yeah,
but we, I mean, yeah, we've been, the real estate agent that was selling it, we were actually looking up, this was parcels before the final plat got approved. I mean, that was 3 years ago easily, and we knew that wasn't even finalized, and then when you reached back out to us, I know this is kind of a sidetrack, but yeah, to add on to your point, it is very true that it took very long, and that's why, we closed on this property, it was November, I want to say, of this past November.
Yeah.
And we knew that obviously through the winter you can't do anything, but now that we're here, we're just trying to get moving on it, spring and summer here goes by kind of quick. And we just want to get moving on it. And the road wasn't dedicated yet to the town, so.
So you had no stipulations in the purchase of the property as far as when you would I should say, the developer would have completed the road and then you would be able to start your building.
There was no exact for sure timeline, but there was no, I guess there was no clear path given to us, I guess.
Okay.
That answers your question.
There's been a little bit of misconception also, and this is more on the buyers end of stuff, which I think it's I think it's a misconception, or it was misinformation given, let's just say that. Both of these clients of mine were both told that the stormwater management was taken care of on the site, which it's not. Regional stormwater management's only 50% of stormwater management, so every person that I've discussed with lots on this specific area are like, yep, stormwater's done. No, it's not. You're still gonna,
Who told you that?
specifically, the sales agent for the developer.
Kyle Broom, I'll just say
Yeah.
Kyle Broom.
Has been
Kyle Broom.
So it's been a,
Don't trust realtors.
I learned that the hard way.
Grain of salt.
And
Big one.
yeah, Travis has helped me clear up the air on that too. I mean, we weren't, nobody fully mentioned it to us. We kind of listened to one time when we should have dug a little deeper, but we're here now and
there's some very fine print in the finals in the contract agreement with purchasing these lots that says infiltration is on a lot by lot basis. And 99% of people, constituents out there, have no idea what that means. It was very misconstrued by the developer. Yeah, so, and that's nothing to you guys. It just,
I'm assuming you filled out a vacant land disclosure agreement.
I'm not his realtor, so I have no idea about that.
I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to say yes or no, but I can't remember, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I know we had contingencies on there. Not 100% sure what they were, but I know we got them taken care of before closing up.
Check, because that's a state requirement, see it.
Should be on there, but I don't want to say yes or no.
Okay.
I can't remember.
They have Pondella paved already. Did they have not paved to the back yet, correct?
No, it's the radiuses where Pondella meets North Star.
Oh,
The radius was probably, it wasn't up to code, I'm assuming?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
They did it residential streetwise. I think it was a 35-foot radius it was supposed to be. And so they had to rip all that out.
I saw that the other day.
I guess thinking about this some more, if and when all of the proper application materials, and I mean all, are received properly by the township, I will poll the plan commission members to see if there is possible availability prior to the next town plan meeting. If there is, perhaps, if not, we'll see you in, a month from now.
It would cost them
It will.
for the meeting. Ask the developer.
What's that?
Ask the developer to put it.
You should drag
That's
it
up,
here, too.
that's up to those guys,
It's up to
yeah.
them, Yeah.
So,
I think what he's proposing is right.
What's that?
I think what he's proposing is fine.
Yeah, so
are you guys referring to the developer being Swallheim's, right? Doing Swallheim, right? Or who is the developer that's doing it?
I'm sorry, try it again.
Who is the developer that's actually doing work? It's other than Swallheim's themselves. They're the seller, right?
They're the developer.
But so I just wanted to clarify, that's all.
So I guess that would be my recommendation.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's fair.
summertime you gotta go.
what's that?
Summertime you gotta go.
Yeah, that's right. That's
I
why I
really
said
appreciate it.
I'm not gonna pick a date and expect everybody to be here. Majority rules.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You bet. Any other public concerns? Next item, Chris Adams or Noah Prevey, Williams Survey and Associates LLC's applicant, Kendall and Donna Uphoff property owner seeking to rezone, 17.37 acres of parcel 0711-142 8070-2 on Ridge Road from FP 35 to FP 1 to create an ag lot for sale. And who is here tonight? Anybody? Oops, sorry.
An inquiry about being online. There's someone here that was called that I muted. Unmute.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Oh, there he is.
We can hear you.
Okay, this is Chris with Williamson Surveying. I couldn't get the Zoom or the online meeting to work, so I called in.
You have the floor.
Okay, yeah, so we're obviously, as you stated, rezoning the FP 35 to FP 1 because the land is less than 35 acres that they're looking to sell. That's really the gist of it, is that a potential buyer wants to buy the land and sit on it for now, and eventually maybe down the road, long ways down the road, it sounds like he would potentially want to build on it, but that would be, you know, it would take rezoning and having a split to do that, obviously. So.
So there's no active plans to continue farming that parcel?
I think he plans to farm it, or I think it was mentioned planting trees in certain areas, maybe an orchard, you know, utilizing the land as buffer and just kind of as space for themselves too, to kind of go to. So I think they're going to continue farming to a degree and then also utilize some of the land.
Okay, so there are no splits currently associated on this parcel at all? No.
Not currently. My understanding is the sale, as part of the sale, they plan to deed him rights to one of their splits. But you know, that's all just legal jargon that I know of. That's not part of this rezone.
Sure.
So.
Anybody else have any questions?
Was that parcel part of the parcel across Ridge Road to the south to get to 35?
Yeah, it was part of that. It was kind of like one parcel that was split by the road.
Right.
That parcel is connected to more adjoining lands that the owners have. So it's not like it's a standalone parcel.
Okay. So it can stay 35.
Yeah, they've got much more than
Standard.
that.
Because he's got all this.
There's enough other FP 35 adjacent under common ownership that it can stay.
Even though it might have been a separate tax parcel, or is it
That
all?
doesn't matter.
Okay,
As long as it's common ownership and adjacent, it can stay.
okay.
To the east. It makes split land to the east.
Right, yeah. Got it.
Excuse me, Steve,
Yes.
I'm the adjoining landowner,
To which direction?
East,
east.
this piece.
So overall, I have no issues with this rezoning, but I went out and looked after I got a copy of this. And I found this new marker very clearly. Okay, got that. But there is no marker that I could find at the road that the surveyor put in to designate where that corner of this property exists. I have an idea where I think it is, but I would, like a clear designation on the southeast corner of that property, so everybody knows where that.
We'll have to come back with a certified survey map at some point in
Yeah.
time. That,
Correct. We have not set those points yet. You know, you see them as like an open circle on the map. Those are points that need to be set. And we typically don't like to do that until we know it's been approved, just in case something changes. But we will be setting those corners before the CSM is recorded. So that corner he's talking about will get set and marked.
So they set the black ones, but not the white ones.
Correct.
Yes, the black ones are actually found corners from that CSM to the north.
Yeah. So that parcel to the south, when you do this certified survey map, you'll be doing another one to the parcel on the south, just to record?
No, because that parcel adjoins other lands, we don't have to do anything with it. It just basically becomes, that, I think the county usually uses the same parcel number, but I'm not sure. They might assign a different parcel number, and it just becomes, a smaller piece of the rest of their farm.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the rezone of 17.37 acres from FP 35 to FP 1 with the notation that there are no building rights with the FP 1.
Second.
Motion by Hampton, second by Troy to approve the rezone, acknowledging the fact there are no splits that go along with the sale. Any discussion?
No bill rights, period.
Correct. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Peter Miller, applicant, BMO Living Trust landowner, parcel 0711-122-8790-0437 Ridge Road, CUP for limited family business for rental property management.
We have the county and I think the town approval, we're just looking for the conditional use to put a bathroom in. Gonna be a two-story, gonna have a loft up there. I coach wrestling for Deerfield, so I have like a wrestling room up there and a private office and a bathroom. So I wanted just so I don't have to run a football field to go to the bathroom. We've all been there. So I just wanted a bathroom upstairs and a private office. When I built my house 9 years ago, I never envisioned being self-employed. So my wife has a real nice office and mine is next to furnace. So I would like to have light, and not be a gremlin in the basement. So I'd like to have a private office. I can shut the door, answer phone calls, and I can do that. So like a little room for the kids, wrestling room, gymnastics room for my daughters.
I'm looking forward to my stack here, but I noticed on one of the application pieces, there was 6,000 square feet of proposed concrete outside your proposed building. Why do you need that?
This is squared up. I had a door off the side of the building. I'm actually going into the hill. And so I wanted the door to be able to go two door like an RV in a long ways because it's not gonna be big enough to go the other way. So I want enough room to come up here and square up with my garage. I got a garage there that has a side door too. I was gonna square that up. I could show you on the plat map if it makes it easier to.
I do know the county has concerns about the impervious surface that you're creating, and I know there was issues previous with the impervious surface out there on your lot. And
We have,
We did get the stormwater and the approval permit and the,
from the top.
correct, but this is going to add to your existing, it's basically going to make, according to Majid Allen, it's basically going to potentially make your previous approval moot because of the fact of all the concrete that you're adding.
So we actually got approved, knowing that someday we might put like an in-ground pool, and we actually got approval from the county and designed for the shed, the concrete. And that was a 200-year flood and an 80% sediment recapture. And that was approval by the county with the concrete. We had a permit back in August, or was it September, that we're gonna build, and then they got rescinded based on the exceeding the 20,000 square feet of impervious surface. We spent like 3 months working with engineers and the county to be able to make sure that we were within those tolerances of what the county requires, even with the extra. And we even went so far as to say, when we put a pool in here someday, in-ground pool, which I'm hoping next year, put in-ground pool in here, we even accommodated for that already. For that excessive runoff, we even accommodated for that already, and actually engineered that as well.
Okay, I guess as far as the town goes, there's nothing to show that the county approved all this previously, especially if it
Well,
was.
this was recent. This wasn't his original approval. He applied to build a building last fall.
Correct.
And he had to have not the approvals back when he built the house and had problems before with impervious surface, but now, right?
yes.
I never had issues with, I'm sorry, I had issues before, yes, and so that conversation that you're speaking of 9 years ago, that was trying to get the driveway shortened because we were trying to put maybe a additional building in. We never put that building in, because of these restrictions here. And so we did pay a substantial amount to be able to have this engineered so that we're within the tolerances of Dane County, and what they require for the water runoff engineering.
We
So-
can provide you, we have the permit and everything. I paid all those fees, so we have all that. I don't know if you were in those.
We wouldn't normally
Okay,
be in
I
that. I mean,
can-
that's part of the building permit process
I
at
mean-
the county.
Correct, but I
So,
guess we need to be as informed as we can.
yeah.
And I can send those over to you. We have them.
And the county gave us the permit to build. Like pretty much, from my understanding, is we're here for just for the conditional use of just saying, can we put a bathroom in there?
Well,
You know,
you're looking for limited family business conditional use, right?
yes, okay.
Right.
Which would, yeah, so he could have a home office with a
Mhm.
bathroom.
Mhm.
And so that's really why otherwise I think a building, we wouldn't.
Otherwise, you can't have fixtures in an
Oh,
accessory
no, I
building
understand. So
without.
when we came in the
CUP.
fall, we were just trying to get the building up for winter.
Mhm.
So we had no intention, we weren't gonna, and then spending thousands and thousands of dollars on engineering. We're like, hey, it would be really nice to have a bathroom so that he has a private home, office, not in my space. And he doesn't have to walk so far to use the restrooms.
And to be honest, when I got the paper sent to me, it said that I had to sign off saying I wasn't gonna put a bathroom in there. I'm thinking, I didn't know I could put a bathroom in here. This is a accessory. So then I'm like, okay, well, how could I get, and how could I have one? Because we all know that we've all had them days where you're a football field away from a bathroom. It's travesty. So I wanted something close in case, kind of.
At your desk, you have some concerns from a neighbor that probably should be ready to know that there's something.
So you're RR2. And you're two.
Excuse me?
You're
Yes.
RR2.
Yes.
Is that your driveway?
Yes.
It's not
Shared-
an easement.
shared driveway.
It is, we own the driveway, he has a easement on it.
Well, he has the easement,
Yes.
so you own actually the driveway.
Yep.
Okay. I'm looking in here in accessory building requirements. It says sanitary fixtures are prohibited from accessory buildings, and that's what he put.
I actually checked with Rachel at the county about that this afternoon. I can read you what she said.
Okay.
Uh,
I question that too.
Section
I was-
10.103, parent 12 of zoning ordinance, special requirements for limited family businesses states sanitary fixtures to serve the limited family business may be installed but must be removed upon expiration of the conditional use permit or abandonment of the limited family business.
Hmm.
So that is allowed with a limited family business as long as that CUP is in effect.
And then like, like if you read further, it talks like, if we would move out and then sell to somebody who did not get any approval for a conditional use permit, we have to like fill the plumbing pipes up with concrete, and so there are like provisions of like what you have to do if we would sell it someday. I don't plan on selling it, so, but if you would, there are provisions in that of like what you're supposed to do if you gotta abandon it.
I'll kind of paraphrase. All of the planning commission members received an email from your neighbor. And I'm going to quote here, Mr. Miller runs an active commercial building and managing dozens of properties throughout Dade County. He has told my wife and I directly that he is actively pursuing significant construction projects related to a apartment construction in Dane and Jefferson counties. Mr. Miller owns and runs a construction company under the name of Complete Quality Construction. And I'll list the email address. We have a shared driveway and we constantly have additional trucks and other construction vehicles, including his employees, parking and driving and parking their vehicles in and out of the driveway daily. He also stores construction equipment and has deliveries of construction material at his home property. We are extremely concerned at the proposed construction of an additional 40 by 60 outbuilding, including 2 stories, combined with any permits outside of our residential zoning, will expand and turn his property into an expansive commercial enterprise. My understanding is that he is well outside the guidelines of running a business out of your home. Moreover, I believe submitting the CUP for a limited family business under the guise of BMO Living Trust is misleading the neighborhood and board and is designed to have his activities appear minimal when in fact they are at a commercial level. I moved to the town of Cottage Grove 9 years ago with the understanding the current zoning and stated restrictions will remain in place. Mr. Miller should pursue appropriate commercial property to run his construction and rental business outside of our residential addresses. I am unable to attend as I am out of town.
So the BMO Living Trust has, we've created a living trust, that has nothing to do with
That's
this
the
at all.
land, that's the landowner.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
trying to put wool under your eyes at all. That's literally, we've created a living trust. So that our kids were protected if something should ever happen to
That's
us.
for estate planning purposes.
Yeah.
Like, that is
We're not trying to
nothing
like
to do.
hide this. I can honestly say that I might have a guy show up 1 day a week on site. Right now, we're in Port Atkins and everything's there on site. The guys meet on site. I just want to store stuff. I don't, this isn't gonna be anyone's full thing from employment. I know David's been upset. We have a lot of Amazon packages. It's probably the greatest thing. We just order online, everything. I bet where there's 3 trucks coming at Amazon, there's 3 different packages and they're coming, we're ordering just personal stuff, we're ordering stuff for our kids, you don't anymore. Back in the day when I was a kid, you go to Kmart and then you go to Shopko, and you go to Walmart, and then you go back to Kmart and buy it. Nowadays you go on your phone, buy it now, and it just comes. So we buy everything from online, but yeah, we don't have any staff really coming to our house, and that's why what we were saying was that maybe once or twice a week somebody might come, but like our house isn't anybody's place of employment, like it's not gonna be where anybody works. So it's I only got a couple employees and I don't know, you know, I don't see that traffic that he's saying. I don't see that. So I don't,
Do you own Complete Quality Construction?
yeah, I started that off as a side business. I was
Where's the business located?
well, so we don't
You
have an
don't have
address.
an address?
No. So like, I don't-
There's not a physical, like, that's
No.
like, he does side roofing jobs.
yeah. And so like, you know, like what I used to do is I was a flat roofing foreman. I became a steam fitter. And to make up a $10 pay cut, I started Complete Quality Construction 16 years ago and would do 10 roofs every summer just to make up the pay difference. This year we might do one roof, but the majority of our work now, like I'm a licensed general contractor, licensed HVAC contractor. The majority of our work is 99% of it is on our own properties, you know, and
Oh, not at our house.
yes,
We have
yeah,
other
yeah.
properties
Yeah,
in Dane
and
and
so-
Jefferson County.
So the only thing that we're gonna grab is, you know, I got a box truck or I got, when I have, my utility truck, but like, I don't have vehicles that guys drive. And if they are, I'm not gonna have them, like, they're not gonna show up there to use them. You know, we have other properties that we can store that at, you know? I'm not gonna have a bunch of traffic in there. That's not my goal. I don't want guys in my house, to be honest.
Is your current driveway built to town road standards?
Excuse me?
Is your current driveway built to town road standards?
Yeah, oh yeah. It's, I think what, over 500 has to be 16 feet wide, right? I think yeah, 16 foot. I think our asphalt's 18 or like 22 around the corner just to get something bigger in it. That's fine.
So you do not store any materials at all whatsoever for your construction company currently at your home?
So I do have a, like, you know, I had a bunch of chickens. And so recently I had a neighbor call on me and said I had a bunch of pallets and a bunch of stuff up by his like tree line. He called the zoning on me, called DNR on me. And and so he had complained about that. And I had gone to Dane County and said, you know, I have building materials, like this is leftover stuff, this, you know, pallets that I'm gonna stack firewood on. This is some drain tile that I'm gonna use here, you know.
For the building.
Yeah, and so it's like things that I had moved there for the building coming up here. And so that was, you know, if you're referencing that, I don't know, but no, I'm not actively storing like material, you know, it's something left over, a job might sit there, but I'm not actively storing and having people come there to buy stuff. No, I'm not actively.
No, I'm not saying buying stuff, but storing stuff at your residence because you don't have a physical address that you call where your business is located, that you're not physically storing anything related to quality construction at your home right now.
I'm not actively storing anything that I'm going to use for Complete Quality. The majority of our work is Miller Property Group. That's 95% of what we're doing is just remodeling, buying apartments, building. Now we're going to Watertown. We're going to be building apartments over there. All those guys are going to be on site. I'm not going to have them come to my house and then, you know, drive from Janesville to my house, then over to Watertown. I'm going to have them go right to Watertown, right? And so for me, I'm not having anybody come to my house to grab anything. So, you know, I don't see what he's saying about people coming and going. I don't agree with any characteristic.
That little bit of family business stuff.
So your CUP at the county, your application says, the structure will provide indoor storage for materials, equipment, and vehicles related to the owner's rental property operations, as well as personal, private office and bathroom.
So like,
So you are planning to store things
Yeah.
inside that building that are related to your rental business?
but not to the Complete Quality, yeah. You know, because we don't really operate that company. You know, for us, it's just the real estate side, just the actual management side that we're gonna use. So yeah, I you know, think if we have a bunch of faucets I can buy on sale at Home Depot, I'm gonna put them sure there. And, you know, if I have a bunch of toilets I can buy, you know, recently I picked up water heaters. I bought 3, I got 1 free. You know, First Supply had some scratch and dent furnaces. I bought 2 furnaces. I got 1 free. Yeah, and so things like that. Yeah, I'm gonna just store that there. And it's just gonna be ready so that if one goes out, then we can grab that furnace. I can bring that to a property, but I'm not gonna be selling anything out there. I'm not gonna have people coming.
I don't know that selling has anything to do with it at this particular point in time. It's merely storing stuff to be used for a commercial operation in a residential area.
Limited family business would allow that as long as he doesn't have too many employees on site.
One or
Yeah,
two.
one non-family,
One full-time equivalent that is not a family member.
and he's saying he only has one that maybe comes to his house or
At a
comes in
time.
and gets stuff at a time. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But that's where if you have 2 employees show up in one truck one day, your neighbor's gonna see that and
Yeah.
say something.
No,
So
look at
I mean,
all,
he's kind of following what the CUP allows, from what I'm reading on all this stuff here. He's allowed 1 non-family employee, which he's saying he more or less has. He's building a building so he can get his stuff that's outside, inside, so no outside storage, which is what the town wants to see on everything. So the only question I would have is your stormwater stuff, that is all in line with your proposed new building and all your concrete. You
yes.
guys will have to just verify it.
We can
Normally we'll see to that before they'll give them a zoning permit to
The
build a
permits and
building.
stuff will all follow with that, or make that correct. But the other question I have, or issue I can foresee having, is the shared driveway, whether you guys own it or whatever, or it's an easement to the neighbor. If there's a lot of truck traffic or something coming in and out, that's potentially can start being a problem. And I don't know how anybody's gonna police that and how you're gonna deal with that.
Yeah, I will tell you that, over the last 2 weeks, I had 1 guy in my house, the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And he was just there today and he literally picked a box truck up and came back within an hour. And so within the last month, I can say maybe 2 people have been, and so, like, I don't see that traffic, but I think that what he's seeing is all these Amazon people and
And they're in different vehicles
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah, like I've had
Well,
where,
and there's no way we can police the Amazon vehicles anywhere.
and like he made comments and it's like, I ordered these things, they came in 3 vehicles and they're all jammed up there together. They're all like, what do you do?
We also were hoping that the building, we could store a boat in, we get an RV someday, like dump trailer, like get the stuff out of the elements so it's inside of a building and cleaned up. I mean, we just don't have enough space.
Who's gonna use the wrestling mat?
I coach wrestling for,
Who's
Like
going to
Deerfield?
use it?
Who's gonna use it?
oh, me and my kids.
Just your family?
Yeah. And, if a friend came over or something, sure, like they have, a friend. I'm not gonna be hosting events. I'm not gonna be hosting like a wrestling tournament.
The girls have asked for some balance beams and stuff, so.
What
use it as a
gymnastics do you use
Gymnastic.
for it?
Well, my daughters wrestle too, so I
Yeah,
have 2 sons and 2 daughters, but my daughters want to do gymnastics now, and so they're asking like, can they have these balance beams up there and and so they're asking, and I'm like, yeah, sure, like we'll get that, and then we'll put a wrestling mat there. And I coached for Fort Atkinson last year, and I coached for Deerfield, so both of them are getting rid of old mats, and so we're gonna bring up one of them up there. So
Steve, if you go through his answers to the standards, you might get answers to a lot of your questions.
All right, starting at number 1. The established maintenance or operation of the conditional use will not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, comfort, or general welfare. The proposed use primarily involves the storage of materials, equipment, and vehicles associated with the owner's existing rental property operation. The use will not involve public visitation or hazardous materials. There will be no significant noise, odor, glare, or emissions generated. The building will allow for indoor storage of vehicles and equipment that is currently stored outdoors, which will improve the overall site organization. The proposed use will not negatively impact public health, safety, or general welfare. Number 2, the uses, values, and enjoyment of other property in the neighborhood for purposes already permitted shall be in no foreseeable manner substantially impaired or diminished by the establishment, maintenance, or operation of the conditional use. The surrounding area is predominantly agriculture and rural residential with similar accessory structures already present on nearby properties. The proposed outbuilding will be consistent with rural structures because the use is low intensity and primarily internal to the building. Neighborhood properties will experience little or no change in noise, lighting, traffic, or visual impact. In fact, by moving equipment and materials indoors, the project will improve the visual appearance of the property. Therefore, no negative impact to neighboring property values or enjoyment is anticipated. Number 3, the establishment of the conditional use will not impede the normal and orderly development and improvement of the surrounding property for uses permitted in the district. The proposed use is compatible with existing agriculture and rural residential uses and does not introduce any conflicting land use patterns. The structure is an accessory building that supports a small-scale family operation and does not alter the overall rural character of the area. It will not limit or interfere with the ability of surrounding properties to develop in accordance with current zoning regulations. Adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, and other necessary site improvements have been or are being made to accommodate the conditional use. The property is already served by existing access and utilities sufficient to support the proposed outbuilding. The site has been approved by Dane County for erosion and stormwater management. No strain on public infrastructure is anticipated. Number 5, adequate measures have been or will be taken to provide ingress and egress so designed as to minimize traffic congestion on public streets. The property has existing access that is adequate for the limited level of traffic associated with the proposed use. The business activity is low volume and does not involve customers or frequent deliveries. Number 6, the conditional use shall conform to all applicable regulations of the district in which it's located. The proposed outbuilding and its use as part of a limited family business will comply with all applicable zoning regulations for the RR2 district, including setbacks, height restrictions, and use limitations. All necessary permits will be obtained prior to construction start. The conditional use is consistent with the adopted town and county comprehensive plans. The proposed use is consistent with the goals of maintaining rural character while allowing for reasonable, low-impact economic activity on private property. The limited family business is small in scale and compatible with agriculture surroundings. Number 8, that does not apply.
How many bedroom is your house?
We got 5 bedroom,
Your septic is sized to,
5.
will he need to get a permit? I'm assuming he'll need to get a sanitary permit to put the toilet in.
The county is going to evaluate that part.
Okay.
So we'll pull all permit, 20 permits, electrical permits.
Do I need to read the written statement of intent? Huh?
Wouldn't hurt.
Okay. Written statement of intent and operations plan. Describe in detail the proposed conditional use, provide specific location of the uses, type and equipment used, plan property improvements, including description/size of existing or proposed new buildings to be used, and any other relevant information. For existing or proposed commercial operations, provide the name of the business and describe the nature and type of business activity. The proposed conditional use consists of the construction of a 40 by 60 accessory building located on the subject property. The structure will include a finished attic space of approximately 60 feet by 20 to 24 feet. The upper level will be used as a personal private office, a wrestling mat for personal use, and a half bathroom. The main level will be used for storage of materials and supplies associated with the owner rental property operations, as well as storage of personal vehicles and equipment, including utility truck, bobcat, box truck, pontoon boat, fishing boat, and similar items. The proposed use qualifies as a limited family business and will be operated by the property owner. No retail activity or regular customer traffic is proposed. The building is intended to consolidate and store equipment and materials indoors, improving site organization by reducing outdoor storage. We are also proposing a personal private office and a bathroom for the owner in the loft area. List the days and hours of operation. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. List of number of employees, including both full-time equivalents and the maximum number of personnel to be on the premises at one time. See attached. Yep, I see it here. The business employs one full-time individual. However, the property is not used as an employee work site. No employees are based, stationed, or regularly working on site. Any employee presence is limited to brief occasional visits solely for the purpose of picking up or dropping off a vehicle and or materials. No office activities or business operations are conducted on the premise by employees. The use remains residential in character and does not function as a commercial or staff business location. List any anticipated noise, odors, dust, soot, runoff, or pollution associated with the conditional use, along with any proposed measures that will be taken to mitigate the impacts to neighboring properties. No change from the current conditions is anticipated. Describe any materials proposed to be stored outside and any activities, processing, or other operations taking place outside an enclosed building. No change from current conditions is anticipated. The intent of the proposed building is to reduce outdoor storage by removing materials, equipment, and vehicles into an enclosed structure. No ongoing outdoor business operations are proposed. For proposals involving the construction of new facilities and or infrastructure, describe as applicable any measures to be taken to ensure compliance with county stormwater and erosion control standards under Chapter 11 or Chapter 14 of the county code. The project will comply with all applicable Dane County stormwater and erosion control requirements. We have applied and been approved for Dane County stormwater and erosion control permits for this building construction. All permits will be in hand before starting construction. List and describe existing or proposed sanitary facilities, including adequate private on-site wastewater treatment systems associated with the conditional use. For uses involving domestic pets and livestock, list and describe measures taken to address manure management or storage. Proposed half bath will connect to existing approved private septic. List and describe any existing or proposed facilities for managing and removal of trash, solid waste, and recyclable materials. Any additional trash generated will be minimal and will be properly disposed of off-site. Describe anticipated general traffic, types and weights of vehicles, and any provisions, intersection and or road improvements proposed to accommodate increased traffic. No significant change in current traffic levels is anticipated. There may be occasional additional ingress or egress of a box truck. However, overall traffic will remain consistent with existing residential use. Provide a listing of any hazardous, toxic, or explosive materials to be stored on the site. Any spill containment, safety, or pollution preventive measures, none. Describe any existing or proposed lighting along with any measures that will be taken to mitigate high light pollution impacts to neighboring properties. Zoning administrator may require submittal of a photometric plan for outdoor lighting if deemed necessary to determine potential impacts to neighbors. Exterior lights, just like the ones on a residential home and found on the neighbor's accessory dwelling. Our only residential neighbor already has an 8-foot fence on a 4-foot berm bordering our property. In addition, we have privacy arborvitae growing in front of the fence. Describe or any existing or proposed signage. I won't read the whole statement. No signage proposed. Briefly describe the current uses of the property on which the conditional use is proposed. Conditional use is residential homestead with RR2 zoning. Briefly describe the current uses of the surrounding properties in the neighborhood. Surrounding properties are primarily agriculture, farm fields, with one nearby residential property that includes an accessory outbuilding. Does anyone have any comments?
Question, does he need to come back? Building approvals.
No, because it's not commercial. I talked to Mark Roffers about that, and it's not basically an
Yeah.
accessory building.
Okay, so when you build it, everything goes, if you be open to putting up some dark sky compliant for your neighbors so that the light isn't going out everywhere.
The like dark sky one.
Dark sky compliant lighting, if you're gonna put any soffits or anything like that. I have no idea what.
Yeah, so
We're not fancy like that.
No.
It's just gonna be a basic light. We're not doing anything fancy. The neighbor has a ton of lights on his. We're nothing fancy like that.
And so like he has like a 300-foot fence, 8-foot tall cedar on a 4-foot berm. He has this huge, like it's 12-foot tall. And so we're gonna be well below that.
Below it, okay.
And you won't even, from the road, you can't see our house. We're over the hill. It's like, we're like, his house is that he's on the top of the hill. And when we built our house, I put our septic as close to the wetland as possible, and our house is as close to our septic as possible, so I can pump downward instead of pumping up on the hill. for the septic, so, that's why those houses, the front of our house was very close to his rear lot line, and that's why he put that privacy fence up, and so that's where I don't understand where he, sure, I understand that, he has some concerns, but like you literally got a 12-foot fence, 300 feet, and the whole adjoining property line, you have a 12-foot fence, you're just really not gonna see anything, and so, but yeah, I can understand that he maybe has some reservations here, but I just think they're unfounded.
But he also just put a shed up too.
Yeah.
We got approval from you guys to put a shed up for his RV and his stuff,
Yeah.
so
He put a big shed too, and
how can we not have one if he can?
yeah.
I never saw it.
Well, that was just an accessory building. That was just a building permit.
Right.
There's no conditional use permit for any bathrooms or, business, limited family business use of that one.
And like as it stands, like I do maintain the driveway. He hasn't, once he paid me to help maintain it, but I plow the driveway every winter. He's never given me a dime for it. It's kind of weird that he wrote that, but I plow the driveway. He doesn't plow it at all. I plow the entire driveway because they own it. And, obviously our agreement says we're supposed to split it, but I've never asked him for anything, so I doubt it. You bring these concerns to me, so it's kind of.
How many vehicles do your various companies own?
Got 2 box trucks and a utility truck.
Any construction equipment?
Yeah, dump trailer. That's it.
Because you're limited to 12 pieces on the property.
Okay.
If they ever show up.
Sure. 12 pieces. Is that business or is that business and personal? Like a boat or something? I'm looking at a boat or.
It says outdoor storage of up to 12 total vehicles and pieces of construction equipment
Okay.
But if it's,
under the LC.
but if it's inside, then like our cars or that's construction, so our cars don't
Yeah.
count.
We're not LC though, we're just,
He will, that's what he's asking for. is
So he's
LC.
asking for limited family business CUP on still the
still on res.
zoning. It's not commercial zoning.
You've already filled out the paperwork and sent it over to the county for the CUP.
I can't.
You already sent your information to the county for the CUP.
Our meeting's next month.
Yes, yep.
And
Good
I'm
next one.
forwarding the stormwater approach, and I can forward on to you. That's all been completed right as we got it, just as we were submitting all of this to the county and the town.
The county has accepted their application. We don't schedule it here until they do. And then they're on the July, right, CLR?
any other comments, questions, concerns?
So I would make a motion to approve the conditional use permit application for the Millers. I don't know if you want the address.
Any comments from the audience?
Oh, sure, sorry, yes.
That's fine.
Yes, sir, your name, please.
I'm the neighbor who property is to the south and west of that proposal.
Let me get my map out.
Name?
Mark Olinichek.
Mark is right where I'm circling. Right? If you look at the map, I'm kind of circling where you are.
I own this, and this is a residential property.
So you're west and south, you said, right?
Yes. My concern is this is the condition that we have to put up with. and that they continually do not follow the rules of a residential area, it's definitely going to impact my property and be able to try to market this. I've been a retired realtor and I was in real estate for 3 years. And I can tell you that putting a 60 by 40 building up 10 feet away from a lot and turning it in from a residential property into a business is not going to be advantageous.
Can we comment on those pictures first? So we got the county building permit in the fall. So we moved stuff that was stacked nicely next to the house up on the hill
Quickly, because we're gonna build.
quickly because we were trying to get the building in before the fall. So
There's
what you
frost
are
coming,
seeing
yeah, there's frost.
is things were moved up there. So it's gardens, stakes, there's some
That
pallets
stuff
that we're
has
gonna.
been there
put
for
some wood-
years.
No, no, so we had moved those, and so I had mowed that every year up there, and I had moved those in the fall there. And then
The
we were,
reason
Hold
that
on.
the property to the east put up a privacy fence is they tried to talk to Rachel and Miller. They would not clean it up. That's what they were looking at for years. So they had to put up an 8-foot fence.
The fence
would
went
argue
up the week we moved in.
before them.
So
yeah, before
we
moved
were
in,
doing
so.
construction in our house, like literally I have pictures, we're moving stuff in and they were installing the fence. So like the fence went up as we moved in.
And there's like steel in there.
Construction.
You know, like most of the stuff, I have like 100 chickens in my house. I got meat birds and we have egg layers. And so we have around like 100 chickens or so, 80 chickens. And so that steel up there, that was leftover steel from the chicken shed, we're looking at it, putting a lean to, like, there was things that were stacked nicely that we moved quickly up to that orchard area. As you can see in the pictures, there's peach trees and apple trees there. Nobody's gonna have a bunch of cribbing and a bunch of steel and pallets and drain tiles surrounding a bunch of fruit trees. Nobody, I wouldn't do that. And so those were moved up there because I wasn't going to disturb those trees, because those trees aren't really going anywhere. So I had moved it up there and then Mark had driven by and was upset by it and called Dane County zoning on me. He called the DNR on me and he's and they've all been frivolous, and the Dane County zoning came by and I said, have you ever given somebody, called them about having building materials on a site that has a building permit?
That
They
was
said-
what their violation said.
Yeah.
We had building materials.
Building
We're
materials.
like, but you gave us a building.
We built, and we literally moved some of this stuff up here, and then some of this stuff is actually gonna get used for the building, so I put it up out of the way, up on the tree line in the area, and yeah, I've been, everything but a great neighbor to Ole. He called me up, his Modine was failed in his barn, I fixed in the winter, I plowed his driveway multiple times for him, I grabbed my Bobcat and unloaded stuff, I've given him produce and maple syrup, and I've been very, very neighborly, and I don't feel like it's been returned, but, and that's why he's here today. And he was recently in a text exchange. I had a tree that came down with some storm damage. It took out 4 trees, and he's texting me, insulting me and calling me the shittiest neighbor he's ever done. And I never had any sort of disdain for him. I said, I've talked professionally to you, Ole. I've been, and I expect you to talk professionally to me moving forward. I said, I've not insulted you. I have talked to you. I've never talked bad about you. I've never said anything to you. And the way you're talking to me, the way you're texting me is unacceptable. And that's why he's here today. And I think it's unfounded. I think, if anything, this project is and it's not 10 feet of the property line. It looks to be about 28 foot or so, 30 feet. So, and we're going to be down a hill, and we even talked about possibly coming back here and getting a privacy fence on there. Just a white privacy fence the whole length and coming back to you guys. And, because up on that hill where that material is, I have like 15 fruit trees up there. I don't intend to keep a bunch of drain tile around fruit trees, it was never my intention. That building was supposed to get put up in the fall, and that drain tile and whatever else is there would have been used on the building or put indoors. It was never my intention to keep it there. for all of winter. And so,
And if the building goes up, stuff will go inside.
yeah,
More room for storage.
that's why we were wanting the building, so we can put things inside so that we can appease neighbors like work here. So
So how many animals do you have on property right now?
we just got chickens. I got like,
How many?
I got 30 meat birds. We're gonna butcher here. I'll butcher them in July, August. I got 30 meat birds. And I got probably another.
That exceeds the limit that you're allowed, doesn't it?
No, it's up 100 per acre. You can have chickens.
That's not a permitted use in
Sure
R2.
it is.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
have 1 animal unit per acre in our R2.
Yeah, it's like 1 horse, 1 steer per acre.
And I think chickens is, I don't know how many, it's 100 or
I think
more.
100 per acre. Yeah. Goats and
Is
sheep.
that newer than 2019?
I mean, RR2, I have
Yes, it
RR2 and I
is,
have
yeah.
2 horses. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you
We
can have,
built in
Because
2018.
it's a conditional use.
not in RR2. RR2 is 1 animal unit per acre.
Yeah, so we're well.
Otherwise, I'm in violation for the last 30, 40 years.
Okay. 100 full.
Whose fence is that?
That was my fence for the deer. And when I first planted fruit trees, what they did is the deer would come by and I'd put a 3/4 inch Honeycrisp. And they would, yeah, they just, so it was a deterrent. They're at the point where I could pull on that fence. And what my goal is to move 1 foot in and come in here and get a approval for this long white privacy fence there. Just if Ole has concerns, okay, here's a privacy fence. And then it shouldn't affect any future property value, like he's saying, of stuff, you're gonna be able to block that out. And if that's a condition of this, we can include that as well. That's something I would, I'm up for that.
Well, that's a big part of putting this building up is to get all that stuff inside.
The other thing is it was next to the house and it was moved up because the construction and we're gonna put concrete there. So like what he's saying is a hurry to drop it there and then it was winter and
Yeah,
we
it was
still
like
were
2
fighting with the
days.
county.
That we had to move everything up and then we're gonna break ground here and we're ready to break ground and then we get a letter saying, or email saying that our permit got rescinded. So we were ready to break ground the next day and try to get the footings in and the walls in before the frost came in. Here we were unsuccessful.
Anything else? Thank you for the photos. Thank you for the photos.
You're welcome.
So
Oh, Sylvan, I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand up, sir.
I don't see nothing wrong with what the Millers are trying to do there. You can't see their buildings that well from the road. And they do run along my land on 2 sides. And they take care of stuff. If you look at the map on the south side of their property, there is an easement through that other land that goes down, crosses in the corner, and it goes down across 2 marshes to some other land that belonged to some other people. I've lived in that neighborhood for 50-some years now, and every one of them, the Coffees owned it, and I bought some of the coffee land. Dave, you got some of it. And these two lots were sold off before the coffee boy sold the farm. And I don't see nothing wrong with what they're trying to do there. The house above them has got a big shed standing up in their yard. And they've never encroached, did anything on my land next to them and that would bother me. I can't see what's wrong with what they want to do there.
So I'm gonna go back and make my motion that I approve this change of land use to the CUP, saying RR2 with a proposed CUP. I don't know if you need the parcel number.
Do you have any conditions?
That the stormwater permits are all compliant.
It's in her email right now.
And, any driveway issues with the neighbors, I don't know how it's gonna get policed, but it needs to be addressed. Only one employee, non-family employee member. I don't know if there's anything else I really need for it or not.
Anything in outdoor storage?
No outside storage. That's the intent of this building in the first place.
Any specifics on that? As far as-
Outdoor storage of limited family business property, right? Like you can
Yes.
have a pontoon boat still outside.
Limited family business, materials need to be inside.
And also his commercial, other commercial business that he has.
Well, the limited family business use, everything has to be inside. That's the definition of a limited family business. The whole business has to be inside a building.
Okay,
That's the actual definition of it.
Whether it's one business name or another business.
Right.
yeah, I don't know if we're dealing with two separate businesses here or if it's just one with a couple of different names.
It's not, you're not really dealing with any specific business. You're dealing with a limited family business use of a building. So, doesn't matter what it can be 10 businesses, but as long as it's a family business that's used inside that building only, it's a limited family use of a building.
Okay. Is there a second?
Anything about lighting? I know that was mentioned.
You
That's
asked for
Lighting below the fence.
Dark sky compliant
dark sky
lighting,
compliant lighting.
nothing shining towards your neighbor,
Sure. Yeah.
please. Make it, I can't ask you to make it really nice and, gorgeous. But you know where I'm going with it,
Yeah.
just something that you'll be
Yeah, and
appreciated.
like I'm in trades, and so for us, we're gonna go standing seam roof on it, steel exterior, like 2-color tone on it. It'll look really nice.
It'll be very similar to our neighbor who put one up, so.
Yeah, it'll be very
Different
similar. He has a
colors.
2-tone, a steel roof. He put one up, yeah.
Maybe better.
Maybe, I hope so.
That's all I got.
For a second.
I'll second that.
Motion by Tom, second by Mark to approve with the conditions that we've discussed. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Well, this still has to go to the town board, which will be Monday night. We just have to, it won't be, it's fair, basically just considering the town board, or the planning commission's recommendation at that point, but they do have to approve it too.
Okay, and then we gotta go to the county too. We're not done yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Yes, they're not intimidating. I mean, I will.
Number 7, Gavin Blazick, Travis Leeser, Clary Buildings applicants, Walheim, 2011 revocable trust, care of Elements Lawn and Snow, property owner, parcel 0711-273-4034-0 Spalheim Business Park Lot 4 on North Star Road. Conditional use permit to allow outdoor storage for contractor business. Dane County's application 2708, design review for commercial building and site.
How do we go from that meeting now? Yeah, trying to pick this back up a little bit, lighten the mood in here.
So this one is on Delaware Lane.
No, this is on the,
Very, North Star, makes the main turn,
Way up at the North Star, down.
across from Capitol Underground.
It's in the drawing. book.
You don't seem to have the county application in your packet. I'll pull up the standards for you when you get to that point. Let me know.
We've kind of been through a lot of different renditions, you know, making sure this is kind of what he wanted also with a bunch of questions. I attached to the back of this with some of the questions he wrote with answers, and I didn't see him here tonight, so.
He wasn't available tonight.
But yeah, we went through, we've been doing renditions for a few months on this to try to get this to what it is today, and yeah. Speaking to what you guys had said earlier, we understand that we can't get any building permits until this road is allocated. We understand that and we're, yeah, so. That's something we'll be pushing on the developer. I mean, I know they've been working on the road, but, yeah.
They're not even supposed to touch any soil.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, and all it says is they can't get a building permit. That's what the plan says. That's the condition on the plan.
Did you guys see Mark's responses to this?
Yeah. Really, the only contested part of that north was, of the whole thing was, for the most part, was the lot being paved or not being paved or concreted. That was, I would say, the biggest questions that he had was related to the surface of the material in front of the building. I believe David's a direct approach to this is leaving it gravel for the time being, because we're gonna future develop a lot in the next few years. And if it were my lot, I wouldn't want it to look like a patch job with different pavements. I would want it to be all one uniform thing. We also understand that if there's a future development, we have to come back and spring the court again anyways. So for design review again anyways, so, yeah. That was, I think, the biggest thing that he was not really questioning, but in a roundabout way questioning.
Is this parcel on the corner of North Star?
No,
What makes the 90, or is it the one further east?
it's.
So, the map's up here for you, Chris. It's the highlight at the very end up here.
It's
right
the top
across from
one with
Larry's
the
old
cul-de-sac
land.
in it.
Yep. It's the very last parcel on Old North Side.
So it's there.
Yeah.
So you have to get that built.
Right.
This parcel
That was
here,
equipment share.
yeah, when we approved that, what kind of restrictions did we have in them for outdoor storage and for screening?
I can look at that while you're talking. I can find that.
Because they should probably be comparable.
What,
Well, Mark's got a bunch of screening, landscape screening all along North Star Road.
Yeah.
That all needs to be in before the building basically starts, from what I'm reading.
where's your trash? It says, any rubbish, trash, or garbage materials, yard waste. Or other waste materials.
Noted on,
Where's your trash area?
Here on the
Southeast corner.
Oh, no, it's part of retention, right here.
If you don't mind me asking, Tom,
That there should be. in there.
if you don't mind me asking, Tom, where, in his notes, because I don't have those in front of me, about the, all of the landscaping being done before the building starts. Can you read that phrase for me? Because I don't have that. That's not typically the way it works, but.
Where do I see that? Hang on a second. Construction of the building has commenced, and landscape screening along North Star landscape. He said landscape screening along North Star Road per landscape plan sheet A1 revised on May 14th has been installed. Installed is what he says.
I mean, we can't do.
And I don't know if that's feasible to do that before all the site grading and everything is done.
I think what he's trying to say was that in the question before that, he made us extend the arborvitae around that cul-de-sac area, around the end. And take off, we had more arborvitae to what would be the west of the driveway. We revised that and installed the other one in the plan. If I correct, I mean, we could ask him just to get verification, but actually, believe it or not, Frankie's done the landscape plan list. We've done it a few different times to accommodate what he's been asking. He asked us originally, there was more arborvitae that covered the front of the building, and he asked us to remove those and place them on the east side of the lot to screen the outdoor storage and make the building more visible. That's what he asked me to do. So I don't know if he's referring to that in his, but yeah, we're not gonna put the landscaping in and then tear everything apart.
That would make sense.
Just me speaking out loud, I guess. There's a substantial amount of site work to do out there. We already submitted to Dane County Land and Water. They're working through that with Jason right now. Again, they're kind of backed up also. Yeah. The outdoor storage for this specific site, the conditional use permit set of stuff, is directly related to outdoor storage of dumpsters for one of his businesses. And I don't want to say we left it open-ended with screening, but I think he's willing to do whatever you guys are asking us to do, right? Coincidentally, both of the young gentlemen sitting in front of you are somewhat landscapers. So, right.
It can be done.
So, I
It
mean,
can be done.
the discussion with David is that current outdoor storage sport in the next, let's say 1 to 5 years is, it's roughly platted at a 12,000 square foot area. It's good. Sooner or later, hopefully, God blessing, going to turn into a building and we'll have to redo this again at that point. Redo the site design again at a later point for additional. So. One of the reasons that you'll see that the bio basins are relatively small on both Frankie's lot and this lot is because we only have to control infiltration in the site, being that there's that stormwater, the regional facility directly to the south and to the north of the east of the Frankie's lot. So storage of it's already taken care of, except we need to filter the water. We tried to put that pond, originally speaking, down along the very eastern side of the lot. There is a very small section of this that's within the 75-foot buffer from the wetland, and it didn't soils test out for the pond. It was too high of a water content, so we had to move the pond back, which would be west on the lot to accommodate, to make sure we had enough infiltration to get it to it. So I'm not a civil engineer, but there's got to be a, like, I don't know what the exact number is. It's like 6 or 8 foot separation from groundwater to essentially the bottom of the pond, and it didn't, on the eastern side, it didn't meet that. Ideally, that's where we were going to put it, but it didn't work. So we we structured and kind of designed it where the well in the septic field and septic tanker in the right of way, out in front. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, you can't see this property from 12 and 18. It's pretty hidden back in the back, so.
Like I said, we don't have the county packet. When you're ready, I can read the standards and their answers and their intent. It'll be easier because I can probably see it on the screen. When you're ready for that. If you want to do the conditional use part, get that over with, and then for your design review, I did find what the conditions were for equipment share too.
I'm ready.
Here.
I just pop up the screen.
I've got like 100 things going here, so just give me a minute here. Okay.
North Star that they rebuilt, that's gonna be 70 foot, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm trying to read the numbers.
They're too damn small.
Okay, so do you want the written statement of intent first or the conditions standards first?
Your choice.
Okay, so describe in detail the proposed conditional use. Elements Lawn Care and Snow LLC is building a 6,768 square foot facility to operate our landscaping and snow removal business out of. We are looking to obtain a conditional use permit to store portable dumpsters for an additional venture of our business. The property is on a dead-end road of an industrialized area for commercial development. The property is out of sight from public main roads and development, and was designed for small businesses as such to be built. All dumpsters will be empty on premise. They will be stored outside and trucked in and out as needed. This will not be detrimental or endanger anyone, as the property will not be open to the public. Equipment includes passenger trucks and enclosed trailers, skid steers, front end loaders, and roll-off dumpster trucks. The property is zoned general commercial. This proposed days and hours of operation, Monday through Saturday, 7 to 6, normal operating hours. During fall, hours are subject to change based on need. Lists the number of employees, including both full-time equivalent and maximum number of personnel to be on the premises at any time. We have 10 full-time employees and 2 office personnel. The 10 full-time employees are not on premise, but instead out on job sites all day. List any anticipated noise, dust, odors, soot, runoff, or pollution associated with the conditional use, along with any proposed measures that will be taken to mitigate impacts to neighboring properties. Anticipated noise is rolling empty dumpsters off trucks. No other odors, dust, runoff, or pollution is anticipated. Describe any materials proposed to be stored outside and any activities, processing, or other operations taking place outside an enclosed building. Storage of empty roll-off dumpsters only. Equipment will all be stored inside proposed building. For proposals involving construction of new facilities and/or infrastructure, describe as applicable any measures being taken to ensure compliance with county stormwater and erosion control standards. Stormwater management accommodated by a regional facility to southeast and infiltration by pond south of building. List and describe existing or proposed sanitary facilities, including adequate private on-site wastewater treatment systems associated with the proposed conditional use proposed well and septic system to accommodate 1 bathroom in the office are anticipated. List and describe any existing or proposed facilities for managing the removal of trash, solid waste, and recyclable materials. None are needed. Describe anticipated daily traffic types and weights of vehicles and any provisions, intersection or road improvements or other measures proposed to accommodate increased traffic Daily traffic during summer is passenger trucks with enclosed trailers, 20,000 pounds total. Roll-off dumpster trucks, 30,000 pounds. During the winter, it will be plow truck with salters, 15,000 pounds. Provide a list of any hazardous, toxic, or explosive materials to be stored on site and any spill containment, safety, or pollution prevention measures. None will be stored on site. Describe any existing proposed outdoor lighting with any measures that will be taken to mitigate light pollution impacts on neighboring properties. No external lighting provided to outside storage of dumpsters at this time. Describe any existing or proposed signage, including size, location, and materials. Site will be private and not open to the public. Signage will be building mounted. Briefly describe the current uses of the property on which the conditional use has proposed, general commercial. Briefly describe the current uses of surrounding properties in the neighborhood, ag land, and commercial/industrial. Ready for the standards? Number one, the establishment, maintenance, or operation of the conditional use will not be detrimental or endanger the public health, safety, comfort, or general welfare. The property is on a dead-end road of an industrialized area for commercial development. The property is out of sight from public main roads, and the development was designed for small businesses as such to be built. All dumpsters will be empty on premise. There will be stored outside and trucked in and out as needed. This will not be detrimental or endanger anyone, as the property will not be open to the public. Number two, the uses, values, and enjoyment of the other property in the neighborhood for purposes already permitted shall be in no foreseeable manner substantially impaired or diminished by establishment, maintenance, or operation of the conditional use. The property is on a dead-end road of an industrialized area for commercial development. The property is out of sight from public main roads, and the development was designed for small businesses for, as such, to be built. Current zoning is general commercial. Number three, the establishment of the conditional use will not impede the normal and orderly development and improvement of the surrounding property for uses permitted in the district. The property is on a dead-end road of an industrialized area for commercial development, out of sight from the public and main roads, in an area designed for small business to be built. Same answer. Number four, adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, and other necessary site improvements have been or are being made to accommodate the conditional use. We will be required to address stormwater management both on-site and in the regional facility for drainage. We will be putting in a septic field and a well for a bathroom. Access roads are already under construction. Number five, adequate measures have been or will be taken to provide ingress and egress, so designed as to minimize traffic congestion on the public streets. New access roads are in progress per the development deeds and will be implemented to provide ingress and egress. The site and paving will not be open to the public, and the driveway and site is laid out to give us adequate ability. The conditional use shall conform to all applicable regulations of the district in which it is located. The current zoning is general commercial and will be adhered to. The conditional use is consistent with adopted town and county comprehensive plans. We're working with the town on the site design committee to make sure it is all as needed. And that's it.
It might have been stated in the first reading. Are you gonna have soil, storage of topsoil or mulch on site?
We'll have mulch,
About how much you think?
probably 90 yards at a time, a semi-load
Okay.
that I'd like to stock.
Of just one type, or that'd be about the.
Just one type, dyed brown.
Okay. Then will that be in a containment area?
Yeah, ideally on a concrete, slab, the concrete blocks.
Okay.
And I wanted to, if it ended up working out, I was gonna put that on the, far end of the building.
Okay.
So it'd kind of be screened by the building and not just be out in the open.
Are you gonna need a salt dome? Or you salt from somewhere else?
Well, yeah. After last winter, I would love to have my own salt and not pay $250 a ton. We haven't really figured out where that would lay out and what that means for runoff, so. I want one, I don't know how I'd work right now.
Future endeavor.
Yeah.
You don't store anyone's snow from their lots on your property, do you?
No.
And then when her reading, you said you're gonna put a drain field in, or is it gonna be just a holding tank?
We're actually working it, for soil testing it it shouldn't be this week yet. I have had extenuous talk, and this has been part of going to Frankie's also with, I can't remember the gentleman's name from, Health and Safety, but, basically he told me, hey, if you can make a reasonable argument that it's not conducive financially or any other way that you're gonna use this in less of a manner, that is, as Aqua will let you put in just a holding tank, that is specifically towards the more of the Frankie side of stuff. We're planning on putting in a septic tank and field on this piece. I think he's going to have a little bit more traffic in the office as far as with his 2 employees. So we're accommodating right now on the site plan. Septic tank is accommodated to the northwest of the driveway or to the west of the driveway, and the field to the east.
So there's 2 businesses in one location.
No, sorry, let me separate that. This is just Element. I apologize.
He's representing 2 separate.
I'm representing 2 separate people.
2 separate
So
funds.
it's all, that's my fault, I'm sorry.
All right, so just Element, and this is Elements.
Correct.
And he's just using me as an example. kind of
Yeah,
what we
just
do. Yeah.
I've
And
had
Elements of Frankie's.
And I did
Okay.
the site design for the landscape for him specifically, and ours too. Sidetrack.
So I'm talking about a lot.
So right now, we are planning on doing a field and a tank on this property.
Okay.
Does anybody know the gentleman's name from Public Health and Safety, just off the top of your head?
I don't
I
think I know
can't
who
either.
he's talking about.
I got it.
Is he the sanitarian in our area?
I think that's who he's talking about.
Okay.
I can't think of his name either.
And he said that,
Yeah, he said, I didn't ask him on this property because I was already assuming we were gonna do a field. On Frankie's property, it's a different situation. But I'll leave that for a different day.
Dumpster stuff, are you doing yard waste or what kind of, what's the majority of your dumpster?
So it's all commercial, the best example I give you, my biggest customer is Paul Davis. So any job they have one of our roll-off dumpsters. All we do is store them. Typically, it's on their job. Goes from their job to bank.
Construction debris
Yeah.
type stuff. Just so it's not like stinky.
Well, yeah, I was gonna ask, how his dumpster back that's smelly and stinky, how do you clean it? And where's that water go?
Well, I'll be honest, we don't really clean them, but, I haven't had to wash one out yet.
Rain. We're looking at retention pond also. It's an infiltration basin, so in the event that one of the biggest things about infiltration basins as they go is that they have to meet sediment control with oil and water and XYZ coming off the driveway, which to your point, if that the good one needed to be washed out, it naturally grades to that sediment basin, and that's got engine soil in it that filters the water before it stores it. So part of the county's requirements from an infiltration basin directly relate to driveways with oil on them. That's probably one of the biggest hurdles with infiltration basins. And that's why they're so expensive to put in. The engineered soil is hard to get. It's not hard to get, but it's expensive to get, and it's very, very detailed. It's a very detailed product.
This will only be temporary.
Correct, until
Hey,
whatever, yeah, it's just half a bulb.
So eventually. Extended east.
We're currently kind of over, just as a rule of thumb also. I've instructed our civil engineer that whatever we need for stormwater management purposes for the size of our basin, we're doubling to accommodate potential future expansion of the site, so that we don't have to do it again.
So the county changes requirements.
Yeah.
Chris,
Don't say that, don't put that on the world, they just did it, but.
Chris, you were talking about the dead end here. Is that majority in their property? Or will it be 50-50?
For right now, just because of the fact the road is eventually gonna go east.
Yep.
This is just kind of a half a bulb, just to be able to get traffic turn around.
Okay.
Temporary.
Because we don't,
Once you
I don't have a mouse in my pocket. We don't have any access to the property on the north side of that road right now.
Okay.
So it can't be a full bulb.
If you go across that, there's a wetland on the eastern side of that cul-de-sac that they have to go across, which is its own challenge.
Yeah.
That's so.
Was North Spar supposed to be 70-foot road? I'm just trying to think. Again, we're going back and as I'm looking here and we're at what, 60?
On the east-west segment or north-south?
Everything. Everything new that's going in, 70 foot because of the potential for semis. And
We need the cul-de-sacs over 90.
But you only get half of the 70 from his.
Yeah, right, this, yeah, good.
I'm just talking about the main road itself.
Yep,
leading
yep, no,
Up to the,
we said 35, you're right, so.
because I'm only showing 60 here on this map. So that's gonna be a question that's gonna need to be answered.
I'm looking at the plat, the recorded plat, and it's 70, it's only 35 because it's 35 on that side, it's 24.75 on the other side because that part hasn't been dedicated yet. But it's designed to eventually be 70
All right,
once,
so on the south half, it's correct.
it's 35 from the center, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because in this map here, it didn't delineate where the cutoff was. It just shows a width,
Yeah.
a total width. Any other questions about the layout?
Well, first thing we're doing is a conditional use permit, right?
Correct, yes.
So we could approve the conditional use permit with, Mark has got recommendations on outdoor storage stuff for this. I think we should follow that. Outdoor storage shall be limited to the area marked as gravel storage area and trash area on the site plan. Outdoor storage shall be limited as All materials and equipment that support the contractor business on site may be stored. I guess I'm making a motion that we pay approve the conditional use permit based on Mark's recommendations. I just read off one that he has, and number 2 is the outside storage shall be limited as follows. Materials and equipment that support the contractor business on site may be stored. Any inoperable, unlicensed, dilapidated, severely rusted, unpainted, or junk vehicles of any nature must be kept indoors. Any rubbish, trash, garbage, building materials, yard waste, other waste materials may only be located within the trash area on site, said site plan, which is where you put your dumpsters, I'm assuming. Outdoor storage shall not be introduced to the site until building and zoning permits for the building shown on submitted plans revised May 14th, 26 have been issued. Construction of the building has commenced and landscape screening along North Star Road for landscape plan revised 5/14 have been installed. That's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Those are the conditions that Mark has got for the CUP. And a motion that we approve the CUP based on those.
Is there a second?
Making second for discussion.
We have a second for discussion. Go ahead.
Do these conditions meet or exceed the ones for the rental? Yeah,
Equipment share, you
yeah,
mean?
equipment share.
Yeah, it's kind of had those on. I need my own monitor because I'm running that too.
I guess that's all. Very cool about me.
All right. So the conditions for the CUP for equipment share were all equipment be stored in, this is a little unique to them. All equipment be stored in transport position. There wasn't anything else, and they did not get to design review. They only had the CUP, and then it just disappeared. So there was talk about never having their equipment stored up too high and all that kind of stuff, but theirs was, yeah, that was the only conditions on the approval. The other thing you should be remembering to state in your approvals is that you considered all those standards and that they are considered satisfied.
Right. 7 standards.
7, yeah.
This is preservation.
Right. Any more discussion? I'm satisfied.
Is that okay to add that to this motion that the standards were
Yeah.
considered standard satisfied?
Did you want to add his informal notes along with the other stuff?
Which one?
Mark?
He just had, I read the ones that he had for the conditional use.
Okay.
Everything else is at the design review.
Oh, point taken. All right. There's no other discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
So we got the design review, and I think
Yeah.
Nick had a couple of things. I'm assuming you guys saw it. Well was in the right of way.
I didn't see what they're talking.
You said the house should not be constructed with the drainage easement. That's apparently where you guys got it in your site plan right now.
I did not see that, but we can, the wells easy.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe that needs to go up along
Yeah, we have plenty of room
south,
back in the building.
south of there or some more or something, but.
We can even move it west of the building.
Right.
Yeah, that's
minor.
Yeah. And I'd rather put it closer to the building too, because the less we get around the water line. It's gotta stay 10 feet from, do you guys have a specific setback from property lines for the well?
County does all that.
It's gotta be out of the right of way.
Fair enough. It's gotta be 10 feet from the building. I know that. So you're 26 feet.
Don't put in drainage easement there. You don't know what.
Exactly. All the above.
So you guys didn't see what Nick had?
I have not seen
That was linked on the agenda.
Oh, okay, I apologize.
Couple of things about the parking stalls and painting, minor. The other thing was some site grades may need to be adjusted to accommodate future reconstruction of North Star Road. So I don't know what.
We reached out to the company that did the elevations of North Star Road, we didn't really receive anything back. We're gonna try it. That was one of the things that Mark also asked was, hey, do you have any existing contours of North Star Road? And they didn't give us, so they're different civil engineers, so I'm gonna guess there's probably a little bit of yes, I mean, realistically speaking, we won't know exactly what those elevations are until the road's done. Right. So,
Right.
I mean,
Oh, he had a few questions about site grades, so that's something that needs to be addressed.
yeah. Perfect. That'd be great. Just as a general, with a couple things he put on here, like provide road control stormwater permits prior to construction. We can't even get zoning approval or anything until the stormwater pump permits in place. That's the first permit we have to get. So if we started before that, we wouldn't have any permits, which would go very easily for us. So that's already in progress. Not worry about that. DNR stuff's already in progress.
Any idea what the neighbors are putting up on the hill? As far as the homes, they look like.
Nothing. I haven't even seen any conceptual thoughts yet.
I think that's when we talk about screening, what's already talked about.
Well, screening wise, we certainly don't want the way Capital Underground did it.
Right.
And that was, I guess they technically at that time met the intent or met what we had put out, but 18-inch tall pine trees, 6 feet apart does not consider, I don't consider that to be screening. So,
Will be over time.
Yeah.
none of us are gonna be here. So you don't even know for sure whether or not you're gonna be able to put in some sort of septic system versus a holding tank, do you?
What do you mean septic system or something?
I mean, holding, what I'm considering a mound or,
I know,
an infiltration type septic system versus.
I know I will, whether that's an at-grade system or an in-ground system is.
Be determined.
Yeah, to be determined based on soils testing, but there will be a drain field, whether it's an at-grade or below ground is to be determined, but there will be a tank, and there will be a field, and however that field is Yes. However it works out is what it will be. So hypothetically speaking, to the short answer to your question is, I don't know the specific grades of what that field will be, and I can't show you what the specific grades would be without knowing it. However, the worst it would be is a 2 to 3 foot berm in the front of, in the right of way.
There's their tank and there's the field.
Correct, but I thought I heard him say that
It's,
he didn't know
we have to
if it
perk
was,
it yet.
if it was gonna perk yet or anything.
It's perking. In our defense, that's the highest spot on this entire piece of land. So if it's gonna perk.
Sometimes that's not saying
I
much.
get you, I get you. If it's, we've done soils testing, if you look at page number C100, you can see where there's those 5 test pits were dug. So those 5 test pits we already dug, and that was specifically related to the infiltration basin testing. And the only one that failed was number 3. And that's on the very eastern end of the nearest the wetland. The other 4 were fine.
So you should be good.
Hypothetically speaking. Don't jinx us, Chris.
Yeah.
What's interesting about this district, or we'll call it this development area, is originally when this was developed, all these lots were literally gone like instantly. Now a couple of them have come back up for sale. So I don't know.
What I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
the ones we were trying to buy, one of, it was 3, I think, divided where his was, where his is, I mean.
Well, it started out as a 10-lot subdivision, and then they realized that they couldn't perk
Yeah.
anywhere near enough to have 10 lots. So then it got pulled back to a 4-lot.
What were you gonna say, Steve? Sorry.
So is there a checklist we need to go through on the design review?
What's that?
Is there a checklist to go through on the design review?
Well,
Not really. Mark has done all that. Mark's review is pretty much, he goes through, there is a checklist to what they have to submit. And Mark makes sure that they have submitted everything and he reviews it and makes his recommendation. So
He does his job very well.
Yeah, I know.
He makes this pretty easy for you guys to.
Make us do our job very well.
well, he's got the recommendation for design review application. We should consider approving it on the following conditions, or subject to the following conditions.
You got the letter from May 18th, right?
This is the letter from May 18th, yes. And the only thing that I found different is if it states about a holding tank agreement. It's not necessarily a holding tank, it could be a tank with a drain field.
I think he's got it confused with the Frankies.
well, no, I think he's just making sure that, because that's not in his list of conditions, that's the comments and analysis and thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's just part of that if there is a holding tank, if it ends up being that for some reason, this is what would have to be.
Mhm.
But it doesn't seem like it's going to be.
They want 2 additional trees.
So I think he's basically saying that the landscape plans, the lighting, all the plans you have are good, except for as long as they meet these conditions.
Yeah. I haven't seen what the building's going to consist of,
What's that?
what the building's going to be.
Yeah.
If they have time for that.
And you haven't gotten a building permit yet, right?
Yeah.
We can. That's
Right,
literally
until the
the
road's
last step.
done.
Right, I'm thinking of other stuff that we're having in there.
Oh. We can,
You guys.
We had
contracted down
everything
on
in.
there, right?
Okay.
Tonight, this is
Where's your
our,
building inspector?
this is our opportunity to give them their orders.
That's already in the building permit. Yeah, they have to. The road.
No, Kim just, until the road's done, Kim just won't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do greatly appreciate you guys working with General Engineering now, 'cause they can do all of their own state approved plans. I submit directly to them, which saves constituents 3 months of time. So Jim
Chris, were you
knows.
looking for something other than that?
What color are they?
Oh,
They're supposed to be.
he's got it down here, but he doesn't have sample, you don't have any samples of it.
I mean, I have a couple samples out in my truck, but it's charcoal gray and black. Yeah. This one's white and gray, sorry. This one's white and black. The black is a textured material, so it looks more residential. It doesn't look, it's steel, right? But it's a textured product that doesn't give the glare of steel. And the siding is white.
Is the texture like an eggshell type stuff?
If you'd like, I can go grab it quick if you want.
Why don't you grab one?
Yeah.
One of the things I was wondering about, you take a look at the west wall of the proposed building. It's got a very short contrasting color wall, and that's gonna be going along North Star Road itself, the main part of the road. And I'm just wondering if that, yeah, the west wall faces North Star.
West Wall faces equipment share.
Yeah, well, equipment share, another lot.
Hang on.
That corner lot.
There's a lot up here. That runs from here to the 90-degree corner where you get to Capitol Underground.
Yep, my apologies. I was thinking this was.
Would that be screened by? What's that? Would that be screened by the rental place?
Oh, I'm sure it probably would if it, whatever gets put up there.
Probably. Feel this way.
I can't give any bigger swatches than that.
So if you look at, I mean, white's white, right? But if you look at like the black, you pass it around, like this is a gloss black. This is the textured, which is a matte finish. I just, honestly, for the black, you guys can pass it around if you like. Honestly, for the black, it's not so much that I do it for, I mean, I do it for cosmetics, obviously, but black oil pans and twists and does some weird stuff. Crinkle coat hides it all. So you can't see it. There is, all of the brick is a mortarless Novo brick that's charcoal gray.
Crinkle coat.
Yeah.
I like that.
It came out with a product about 5 years ago, and it's, if honestly, if anyone ever asks for black, that's what we're doing. All of the windows and walk doors and overhead doors are also black. So.
The overhead doors are black. They don't look black.
They look white here.
They look white there.
They've got the door open light enough.
The overhead doors are black. My guy can't draw very well. Fire. Like, and if you've seen North Star's building out there, that brick, I want to say because it's charcoal also, it's the same style of brick that he has. except there's just a lot more of it on this building.
You said if you're gonna have a signage, it would be attached to the building?
Yeah.
What's this material here?
Noble brick.
Huh?
Noble brick.
What color?
Charcoal gray. It's charcoal gray. It's-
Gray?
It's a dark gray brick, yes. Apologize, I didn't have it seen. If you looked at North Stars, it's the same exact brick as what the one at North Stars out there.
Okay.
So it's a rough face,
And that'll be on the north side and
the east side.
on the east side.
Correct. We
Are
also
the
have
offices.
where it connects. One of the things that Mark and I were kind of going around about was that your guys' ordinance is 35 feet, which is the entire, all the walls facing the road side, which the building, the main shop is recessed 32 feet from the main building, so he made me do both of them combined, which is fine. So on which would be the northeast corner of the shop, there's a 10-foot pillar that goes up in the corner. I've done those a lot and they actually look pretty cool. So that's how we made at least 35% with the brick in the front. A very similar building.
Just going up here.
Yeah, a very similar building to this, if you ever get out and around, is in the city of Sun Prairie in the commercial park. There is Elite Embroidery. This will be identical to theirs as far as the
Which
style.
business park?
The one to the north, is it County N that runs north there? Yeah, if you take N that goes north, it's off of the eastern side of the business park there, right off of the road. So there's a quick trip right there. What's that?
Near Holman?
Oh, I don't know where that's at. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Because N goes in, you're talking north, okay, okay.
So there's a quick, you go underneath the underpass and there's a
Yep.
quick trip on the left. If you take an immediate right onto Business Park Road,
Oh, yeah.
it's literally right there.
By the hotel.
Yeah, right behind the hotel, yep. So we actually did the brick to the top of, just like this whole building will be, it'll have a very similar porch. Their main section, their office sections is pretty big compared to this one, but it'll give you a pretty good representation of, it's not the same colors, but it'll give you a good representation of how the brick will look with it that tall. And that one obviously was the city of Sun Prairie, so.
Can you describe your lighting that you're gonna have? It looks like maybe you got some
We got-
soffit lights.
Yeah, we got can lights in the soffit of the porch and in the front of the building. And then we have just dusted on, we can do dusted on downward facing, dark skies on 3 wall packs on the wall of the shop. It's really not gonna face anything, it's gonna face all of that open field, but we can still do dark skies and keep it where it's.
Everything needs to be dark sky.
Yeah, so we'll still do all of that. They're gonna be, there's 3 wall packs between the doors that I drew on there.
Okay.
So.
Is he permitted to have yard lights? Like in the winter time, he comes in, you got a plow truck, you said, plow trucks? Is he permitted to have yard lights during that operation and then shut them off?
If he's there.
Okay.
I mean, we can make them dusted on where they turn on at dusk.
Well, I'm talking about ones that throw light across your parking lot, so you can see what you're doing.
Mark asked about, that was part of the conditional use. Mark asked about like a light pole out in the actual lot. We
Yeah.
decided no, just because if he's gonna build another building, those doors would face west then. And then we can if we light both buildings east and west, when we do the additional building, it'll light the entire space between it, so.
Okay. You're not putting a ton of can lights in this office.
So how soon are you willing to blacktop everything? 1 to 3 years, Mark was asking about.
It's up to him, obviously, but I mean, if I were him, I'm saying it depends on when he's talking this next development of this next phase relatively quickly. So if that happens, obviously we're gonna pave it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I plan to pave it. I might even pave it before that second building, but I'm just saving up to do it, to be honest with you. I just don't want to put that in the loan and
But if we say you have to have it done within 3 years, is that doable or?
3 years is definitely doable, yeah. Yeah, I'm very particular about my.
I guess I just don't want to leave it wide open.
Yeah,
And it takes
yeah.
you 30 years.
No, yeah, I would, 3 years would be, I want it as soon as possible. I really do. I don't want it done. I'm just trying to keep this financially sound.
Yeah. And you're gonna have to blacktop for the ADA parking and for him to get to the door.
Yeah.
Van accessible. I assume you didn't have a problem with 2 additional deciduous trees.
No.
Frankie, that was me.
That was me.
So black or onyx that you're going to go with?
It's called onyx.
Onyx?
Yeah. That's what they call the texture black. is onyx.
Yeah.
It'll look like a very clean cut building, white and black. They look really nice. Hold on, I'm gonna actually grab it. Don't forget those. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Do you have anything more than building? Is that, those other ones where you're talking about adding brick Sue times the truth? You can add some brick,
Yeah.
some stones.
Who's going to do it?
I heard you
Adding it
talking
here.
about it. Well, that's where it's going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
going up with it. And that's great.
If you ever get along Highway 51, going north by DeForest, there's a building right off of the eastern side by like, I think it's Circle B up there. Is that the one we want to skip? Just past Circle B up there, there's a building that's charcoal gray and black that has no brick pillars in the corners that it did like 4 years ago. It gives you an idea of what they look like. I mean, they look nice. That guy didn't have any restrictions to do them, he just wanted them.
Your area gonna be fenced
My area?
for your outdoor storage, so. Go ahead.
No,
That's why I believe Mark added the additional screening to the east of the driveway to screen the outdoor storage. Is what, do you remember reading that in his comments? That's why he made us add additional trees to the east to screen it.
Was there any size to those trees?
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah,
he made
the
us short.
deciduous tree's gotta be 2 inches in diameter and
Yeah.
what, 5 feet? I think?
chest height or something like, chest height. 2 inches
Yeah.
diameter.
But again, deciduous trees are gonna take forever.
He made us,
And he
And then,
comments on that too.
What's that?
He comments on that.
yeah, I know, yeah, on this page.
he did make us change the spacing on the arborvitae from 8 to 5 feet to make sure, that was one of the latest revisions that he made us do, was change the spacing to make sure that there was screening.
So
agree with that.
So what's an appropriate sized arb? I mean, I don't know that an arborvitae has a trunk like a deciduous tree does. I'm sure it's got something in there, but
4 feet.
something you never see.
Yeah, I think he said 5 to
4
6
feet
feet.
high is what you have on your plan.
Oh, yeah.
Take the goals on this.
Arborvitae, 4 feet high.
He actually made a comment about that once.
Oh. Arborvitae.
Yeah. they go fast.
I think that counts. Next.
With that,
With spacing.
5 feet.
Oh, I did.
They did put, the arborvitae are 4 feet in height.
Yeah.
He's got it on the plan.
Yep.
That's all enough.
those things that grow like weeds, you know.
Forest would nipple back there.
Go 5 foot, you increase the cost quite a bit on it.
I'm sorry, what?
Trees.
Okay.
You go to a 5 foot tree, you're increasing the cost to them, and he's putting an awful lot in there. And they will grow.
And for the location, 4 feet's enough.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I don't know if I'm completely 100% satisfied with the potential for gravel just for the parking area for people at the building. Okay, especially it's got gravel or compacted bitumen or recycled asphalt. I guess there's choices. Just because of
He's
what
agreed.
the ADA says, I mean,
He's gonna have to blacktop for ADA to get to the building,
yes.
the parking into the building, and the rest of it, he said he'll blacktop it within 3 years.
Correct. And I get, I don't have an issue with that. I was
Yeah.
just talking about the stuff coming in and having a pad, if that's all you want to do for the parking area, so people can get out of a potentially handicapped van or whatever, and they have to roll in on a chair, kind of difficult to do it on gravel, you know?
Yep.
Well, that's some of the things that Nick points out in his thing.
Right, but
That
it
it should
should,
all be paved, all those areas should be paved. Parking stall, assess, aisle, accessible route to the building entrances, all should be paved. They're not marked, so Nick put that in, sorry.
anybody have anything else?
I make a motion to approve the design review application for the lot 4 business park, subject to the conditions. Mark Rother and Nick. I don't know if you really want all these things listed off or what, but basically the site needs to be developed with all the plans that have been revised plans as of May 14th, I'm sorry, 26. And the lighting plan dated 4/27/26. Plans need to be adjusted, meet any requirements from town engineer, match grades and stuff, before any building permits or driveway permits are issued.
Date Nick's.
Next note was May 20th to 26th.
Sure.
And Mark's was May 18th. 26.
I will add those both as exhibits to the minutes. So they'll be
Yes.
part of the minutes.
Adding more?
Hmm?
Are you adding more?
No, I'm not. She's adding the exhibits. These as exhibits.
You want to add that it has 3 years to blacktop?
I think that was in the notes here, wasn't it? With
It's not in
Mark's
the
thing?
conditions, it's in his comments and analysis.
Okay, yes, 3 years for asphalting the remainder of the parking area.
Yeah. Do you want to list the colors that we approved?
There was, what did you call that? Travis?
White
I
Nonix.
thought when we did look here, you can do them. This is light gray, not white. So it's light gray in material. And that was my fault. I apologize. Let me show you the color.
It's what's listed on your plan though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, more reference.
It's just the light gray. It's just not white. I'll show you the color. I'll give you the color. I'm sorry.
It's stated on the plan
It's
though,
stated on
that's
the plan.
referenced, so that's kind of covered.
So it's just a light gray.
Do we get the colors on right?
Well, if you're referencing this plan, I just want to make sure they're right on the plan and then you're good.
Speaking to which, while I have this on here also, just for a rule of thumb, it's just so you can see the actual clothing, I'm sorry. He did picked a textured wall also. So the wall is textured also, including with the black, versus a light gray material, which would be similar to this. A textured black, it's a textured gray, so it won't get the glare. You can pass those on if you like.
Which one's the trim?
Everything is black. The walls are the granite, which is the light gray material that's textured, and everything else is onyx black. Trim, the roof, the wainscoting, other than the brick.
Yeah, it was noted on
The
there.
plan right here.
It is noted in the bottom left corner.
Building colors,
building colors.
roof
that's what
onyx
Kim-
texture,
Yeah, as long as we got
sides
it down.
granite
Yep.
texture, trim onyx texture,
You guys want to see
wainscoting
this?
onyx
Oh,
texture
sure,
with charcoal Nova brick.
You want to-
It's on the bottom, it's on the bottom.
That's fine,
corner
yeah,
of
I'm
this.
sorry.
That's mostly what you're.
Yeah, it's included in the plan, so it's covered in the motion that way.
I'm just waiting to see if Chris was done adding to your mo.
Yeah.
Adding, or
That's
doing-
it.
huh?
That's it.
And the trees are everything green, to me, it's just,
Yes. Yeah.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the design of the building. Do you need to read back everything, or is everybody?
Thanks, sir.
With marking next conditions based on their letters and giving them 3 years to blacktop the main parking area, right? That's what it was?
Is it 3 years from completion or is
Oh, good question. 3 years from the building permit?
Or you can.
Three
order an
years of
occupation
occupancy of the building.
permit.
What's that?
Start of occupancy.
Occupancy?
That's on there.
Make that 200 building.
We're ready to go.
sounds like this road is my hang up.
Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah, that's.
I mean, it's contingent, I still have mine contingent, so I don't know. That's a whole nother.
What's ironic about this is that the agent's been kind of pushing on us to get going yet. And they've been kind of, I don't want to say problematic with doing revisions on the addendums, but they're definitely the one that's like, hey, you guys, let's get going here. But, and they're the ones that really are the ones that need to get going because I'll bring it up to the couple realtors tomorrow. I think we can dump that.
Have fun with that.
Yeah.
Extended closing like 6 times now.
Yeah.
So there's a motion and a second.
All right.
I'm not worried about that yet.
Alrighty, any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same side. Motion carried.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. See you next month. Maybe some. Maybe some.
Anybody potty break before we move on?
I'm good. Good.
Good
No,
down
this is
here?
gonna be really quick.
What's that?
This will be real quick.
Okay.
Right, Dave?
Next item, Mom's CG Farm LLC applicant landowner parcel 0711-292-8502-0 and 0711-301-8000-0 between Woodywood Lane and Hope Road to rezone to create a 10-lot residential subdivision with a transfer of development rights. You're up.
Dave Dancombe, this is Dave Biddy, who's the manager of CG Farm LLC, which is really his mother. We're looking at 10 lots and 17.7 acres. This is in the neighborhood development area. We have procured, not purchased yet, but have an agreement for a RDU coming from Badger Farm. We have that worked out and documented very well with the county. And we are looking at getting going. We are in front of the county next month, so we came to you guys this month to get your first thoughts. We have received communication from your planner offers. We could just go right through that, I guess, if that makes sense to you. Number one, on what Roffers has is regards to neighborhood development area, we're doing, which is basically what number two says. Number three in that, we talked about SFR 08 zoning. That is what Kennedy Hills is, and much of, not all of these. We were thinking that's what you guys would like. And he's thinking SFR 1, because it has a minimum lot size of 1 acre. We were concerned on that just in case we, right now on the west boundary, on the west end, there is a detention basin that's been there for several years, part of the development on the south side of Woodywood Lane. And some of the engineering plans from the past have showed basically an increase in that stormwater structure just to the northeast of the stormwater structure. We're also having our engineering firm check into more of a longer, I guess we'll call it the long way, detention basin along the south side of Hope Road. That engineering is not done. It should be somewhere this month. And, but we just thought that having it along Hope Road, because we have such very long lots there, I think they're what, 420 feet deep lots. And that we would be able to put it, the detention structure in a east-west format. There are two culverts running north-south and flowing north under Hope Road. There's a giant detention, well, really, it's a beautiful pond. And so the engineers are looking at that. If that happens, it may shrink. If you guys will prefer to have the ownership of the detention of the long detention area, or are happy just to have it on an easement basis. Either way, it's fine with us. And if we do that long version, then we would be able to add another maybe 8 feet per of the 6 open lots, the flat lots. And adjust the 1 or 2 of the wooded lots slightly by getting closer to that existing wetland structure. So until the engineering is done and until we hear what you guys prefer, we aren't quite sure. And so we applied for the SFR 08 as opposed to the 01, just in case we drop down a lot size. And it's really nice if you can do it to have all the lots be of the same zoning. So, but it's certainly okay to change. In item number 4, there's a 9.9 or a 2.93 acre parcel directly east of South Hope and south of Hope and north of Wittywood that contains the existing structure. Really, that parcel was formed by part of the quarter line there that comes down from the that runs north and south. And we would really like to go into that, make that last lot wider. There's nothing sacred about a quarter line. It just happened to be where everybody stopped. So again, engineering will tell us what is there. We'd rather have the lots be a little wider, all up and down, rather than have a extra wide stormwater basin. And of course, there would be restrictions that the person who purchases that end lot can't get within 75 feet of the wetland basin. Number 5 regards preliminary stormwater management, and it has not been completed. The boundary survey, which is and the topo survey, are just being done this week by Dave Resac. He had a bunch of land and corn and beans to plant, got a little bit behind. So that's number 5. Number 6, again, is the wetland study that was done a little over 5 years ago. I think it was official as of, I'm thinking November of 2020. The engineers, Rebecca being the engineering people, said there is a procedure where you go back to Heartland. They come out and review and inspect, and you give them some money, and they determine what is necessary to continue the delineation for another period of time. The 6B regards FEMA and the 100-year plan and the 500-year plan, and the engineers are looking at that also. C of number 6 is the 20% slopes in proposed lot 10. When you look at them, they're fairly limited. And when we went through and first came on the site, it was really a very overgrown natural woods kind of thing. We went in and hired a forestry mulcher crew that went in with an incredible piece of machinery and ground up all the stuff so we could actually get around and observe the lots. And we laid out the proposed 4 lots in the wooded area. By being able to do this, David and I just tramped around, and there's a lovely building site, a lovely large building site, not involving the steep slopes on lot 20. when you're out there, it is a steep slope, and I can't imagine what anybody would want to do with it, especially since there's a nice high building platform already. We went through and looked at every lot and adjusted boundaries to make sure that there was a nice, generous building site and everything. We also had, if you remember how there's that, it's the Trans-Canadian high-pressure natural gas line that goes through there. The guy came out and marked that, and then we went and marked it with a continuous pink ribbon, so we would be able to figure out where the homes would be far enough away from that. Incidentally, we talked with the guy who's in charge of marking and those for Hotline Trans-Canada. And I said, how big of a deal is this? And he said, well, if you know where the Menards is in Sun Prairie, and you've got the shop or the store in the front, and then you've got warehousing in back, the Trans-Canadian line goes right under there and then goes into that neighborhood to the north, which is a Tony kind of neighborhood. And it just, you put your backyards to it and nobody has a problem. We're much more conservative of that, and I think we're a really excellent building site on that lot. 8 is I think it's 120 feet from where the actual pipeline goes. So we figure that whoever builds there will feel comfortable. We did back a month ago have, going to number 7, we did a month ago have Steve Tesmer of Eckmeyer lives in Sun Prairie, his office in town of Waterloo. And they did a perk test. I sent perk test to Clerk Hannigan, including a cover letter this morning. And they all will be using low-rise mound systems. They range from adding 6 inches of sand on top to 20 inches of sand on top. And that's all been blessed and designed and stuff by the county sanitarian. And so we're in really good shape there. One of the interesting things about having the mound systems, that 6 lots in the open non-wooded area is really flat. And by adding the mounds, and we're going to kind of riff off of that, and hopefully if we can have the long format of the stormwater detention basin, that will be creating some berms. And that creation of berm along Hope Road adds a nice concept of privacy and really psychological privacy. Hope Road is raised up from the backyards of the houses that front on Whittywood. And by having the little mounds that are short really, but and then some berming, if in fact we do the stormwater, we create a little relief for those backyards. I kind of think of, boy, people sure like the berm out on between the highway BB and the Kennedy Hills property. Literally the lots backing to Highway BB all had that large significant berm, and they all pretty much sold before the lots backing to the park. So I think that that's good evidence that people like the functionality that a berm gives you. And so we're looking at doing that and seeing whether it works. Again, it's an engineering thing that starts with stormwater. This whole project in many ways is all about stormwater. Maybe they all are. So anyway, we're in good shape with the septic systems. Number 8 is the comprehensive development plan. That, and don't you have a specific implementation plan, and again, the engineers will work on that. Things that need to be done is the engineers feel confident your engineer will want the cul-de-sac centered on the roadway as opposed to its kind of egg-shaped northward, and that's fine. It shows on the original CSM back when that Whittywood Lane was established that the cul-de-sac that is there was meant to be a temporary item anyway. So that and the cul-de-sac as a major piece of work, and again, the stormwater as a major piece of work. The roadway seems real good. So that would all come as the engineering develops. And he also talks about how references back to a concept from 2020 that had driveways coming onto Hope Road, and the lots were diminished, and what we feel is a much superior plan utilizing 10 lots, including the woods. Nice thing with the woods is people are always looking for woods. We will have restrictions and covenants. I'm real into that. Even where I do standalone lots, I put restrictions and covenants, one of being which that you're in an agricultural area and they'll have all the blessings of farm activity around you. Even though that particular area is getting pretty limited in farming. And we'll have restrictions and covenants, talking about oak wilt and good forestry practices. We'll have restrictive covenants, re-emphasizing, and I love it, you guys, for the dark sky concept. That's just great. One of the wonderfulnesses of being in the country is you can see the northern lights, so we go through and we'll develop the restrictions and covenants, really no different than what you have on the other more contemporary subdivisions, the ongoing phases of Kennedy Hills, and I believe Vinny also has those. So we think we're coming along, but obviously we're not done. But we should be in good shape for coming back to you next month on this matter.
I guess, looking at lots number 7 and 8, seeing you're going to be coming out onto Hope.
Oh, yes, and on some of them.
Shared driveway.
One shared driveway.
And that there would be no access to Hope Road on lots 1 through 6, or
No.
actually, well, yeah. And given, are you gonna have engineering stuff completed as far as your stormwater or preliminary stormwater?
So,
Because of the fact that you may have some really weird lots here, because that outlot right now is awful small, even, and it's so overgrown, and you're adding 10 lots that are gonna have to feed that particular area, so it's gonna have to grow substantially in some way, shape, or form, whether you put stuff along Hope or at the end of Hope and South Hope.
Engineering.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just want to come back and, that
and
stuff.
what is there already?
I'm sorry?
The detention structure that is there already, really, there is a question, do 10 lots, they figure 4,500 to 5,000 square feet per house apparently is the engineering parameter of hard surface between your roofs and your patio and your driveway, about 5,000 square feet. And so you're handling that much more water over basically.
Have an engineer show us.
Exactly. That's all in the
That's what they do.
Yeah. It'll be very interesting whether we can get that long format and make it look more interesting. That's what we're hoping for.
Any questions from anybody?
Not yet.
Huh?
Not yet.
Anybody?
I have a question. I live up on Capitol, what is it? I live off of
You live up
Oakwood
the
Lane.
hill?
Lived up there for 37 years. And I'm a little concerned hearing that you're gonna have people exit their property onto Hope Road, especially on that downhill run that's curvy. It's not always the best maintained in the winter. And there've been a couple bike fatalities up on the top of the hill. If I lived there, I certainly wouldn't want to be coming out there. So I don't know if there's any other way to look at that. And then I guess that retention pond, that area, is that how it's going to remain, or is that it's really overgrown? And where does that water go? Does it go to Door Creek then? Because that's flooding out because that's so backed up with down trees. So there's like a water management issue down there from just living there for many, many years.
When the engineers are working with the Heartland was the one who did the delineation, and so they'll look at that and do what they need to do. Again, back to engineering on that.
Who maintains it over time?
Well, we are looking at creating an association of the 10 lots, and we're assuming that you guys will want the association to take on the burden of keeping that up to date.
No, the town actually takes them over and then bills back
Okay,
for
that's
our expenses in
It's gone
maintaining.
both ways, but that's the most recent ones have been going that way where the town just special assesses for it. But what, I mean, a little bit I know about engineering is they're supposed to engineer it so that no more water leaves the site than it does today. So they'll have to redesign whatever stormwater facilities they design so that it, settles in or whatever, and no more water leaves the site than it does as it sits today. That's,
Infiltration.
yeah.
Infiltration,
So
exactly.
there should be no more water leaving the site than there is now, even though it's being handled a lot different.
Yes.
To make that
And I
happen.
think it's more of a peak flow, but again, infiltration, whether we have a detention structure by the existing one or going the long way, again, infiltration, we're assuming that it'll have the engineered soil at the base of it. We don't want a mosquito pit. We want something that infiltrates, and so it'd be a dry basin. In terms of roads coming off at that 7 and 8, that is, if you look at the map, you can see it's on the inside. You got great vision distance there.
Well, I've driven that road for almost 40 years and it's concerning.
I
One
agree.
driveway
And
could
the
be-
speed
one
that
driveway.
people come down the hill.
Could be one driveway.
But still.
Yeah, but ask the Gaussmans that live up the hill. I mean, it can be a really dangerous road. That's all I'm
Every
saying.
road can be really dangerous. Yeah.
Well, I know, but it's in my backyard, so that's why I raised the issue.
I don't know, backyard.
That's me.
Moving on.
I mean, that's me. My feeling.
Question?
I would agree that that driveway's coming out on Hope Road at 7 and 8 is kind of a hazard spot. And I don't know if there's any engineering that needs to look at that and say, yeah, you're probably okay, your visions are good, or what.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna make that call, but I know that I've been on that road several times too, and I know people, it's a racetrack. And
That was one of the things back in 20 that came up was driveways that were
Yeah.
coming out.
so I don't know, maybe in your engineering stuff, you guys
You
look a
have
little
no
further at
problem.
that.
It just, I've always heard the rule of thumb is a good vision clearance, a good vision distance, 200 feet in each direction. You got that easy.
Not everybody's driving 40 miles an hour. on that
Right,
road,
we
so.
certainly understand that. And that is a 55-mile-an-hour road, I believe. isn't it?
45.
Anyway.
And,
Slow down.
And it is I'll slow down. It is a town,
And now it's 35.
I believe it is a town, considered a town connector road in your stuff, so, you know, it'll work out.
Is there a way to reduce the acres on 10 and do a shared driveway along between 6 and 9 and back to 7 and 8 off the cul-de-sac?
No,
You can, my thought was, the 10 you can't really build on. I mean, if you start from this point, come across here, 20, this is all like 20% slope.
Yep.
So move this into this area and decrease 10 and use 7 and 8 to eat up 9 and have 2 lots there. So you're actually gonna have 8 lots versus 10.
Let's let this young lady
Go ahead,
finish her.
No, that's fine. I don't know if you guys have anything else.
And not have anything come out to, nothing comes out to,
Hope.
I'm sorry, no.
so that doesn't, we've looked at pretty much every permutation. This works real well. The, frankly, there is no problem with lot 10. We have a very lovely building site, high, sitting in the woods. We're happy to have you folks come out and we'll show you. We put up a bunch of markers with ribbons and stuff, and we can show you, and you'd be able to say, here's where a lovely home site. The 20% slope is south of the nice flatter area. You can see that in the topo stuff.
Actually, I did have one other question. I remember when this area of development was discussed before, and I'm not an engineer or anything, but they talked about that area where 1 through 6 is being hydrostatic soil, meaning the water came, that it wasn't suitable for building at that time.
Hydronic.
Hydronic, okay, sorry, I don't know the words. I'm a nurse, not a.
And that's still, that'll be a determination also by the county.
Okay. And then are those 2 culverts that come off north-south up by the 7 and 8 that drain off towards the wetland to the north of that? Is
Drain
that?
to the north.
Yeah, and so that'll be, will there be stormwater runoff or runoff from those homes that are up on the hill coming down then
That'll
and
be
going out into the
cleaned.
wetland?
Yes, that'll be infiltrated. Anything new will be infiltrated and cleaned, and then there's a release factor in there.
So between the homes and the wetland across the street, you're saying, or where's
Yeah,
it gonna
it'll
treat?
go, a lot of water will continue to still go north because the culverts are in place under the road. Again, that's up to the
Sure,
engineering staff.
sure. Because I know that they've talked about issues to the north and up through that area in the wetland and.
Every change has issues.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that even before you're doing anything, that there's been discussion of.
Yes, every
issues and
change
maintenance.
has issues. The engineers look at that. You just can't. When they do these water studies, they have this whole engineering model. And one of them I saw was 432 pages of calculations. And so it's as good as it gets. Ultimately, this is what keeps New Orleans from flooding out, is keeping these small particles here in our state as opposed to sending them down the Mississippi. So they're very fussy about that. It'll work.
Do you have anything? Okay.
Anybody online?
That's it?
Anybody online?
Yeah.
There was a big concert tonight. There are people from my neighborhood that would have liked to have come tonight, but couldn't because their kids are all in the big strings concert tonight.
There's a couple people online, but there's no hands raised.
Anybody wish to speak regardless if your hand's up or not? speak now or?
If I may,
What's that?
if I may,
You surely may.
I disagree with Mark number 3. Other than the hillside, I see no reason why the lot should be more than an acre. They're too big.
They're too big?
Too big.
Okay.
Our plan says an acre max.
How would you,
And I don't see any unusual land configuration to better protect farmland for commercial, institutional, blah, blah, blah.
well, this
There.
is already in neighborhood development, so we're,
Yeah, but the lots
correct.
size,
How would you,
I think Mark's point is the lots they have drawn are all more than an acre, and if
They
that's,
are.
and so if that's what you're
other
gonna
than
do,
7.
if that's what it's gonna be, then the appropriate zoning, more appropriate zoning would be the SFR one, but
correct.
but maybe, and it seems to me like the biggest unknown here is how big are the lots gonna be after all the stormwater is filled out, and that'll determine the zoning.
Especially if they end up
And
going along Hope.
until they know that, I don't want to see a plat that's more than an acre.
Well, and you
For a
can't
lot.
even rezone it because you don't know what the right rezone classification would be at this point.
So we need more information.
Right. Yeah.
And that's pretty much what Mark said.
So just so we can facilitate our thinking, would, we're gonna move Oak Road south, and we're gonna move Whitty Wood Lane north, and we
You can
don't
make it a circle,
make it a circle.
come back on itself. You figure it out. You're the developer.
Well, and maybe if your stormwater does run along Hope Road, maybe that'll eat up enough that the lots will get smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's what you.
Get them to an acre or less.
I'd like to see them an acre. I know what your feelings are, Chris, but I'd like to see them an acre in that area. But
Acre max. Other than for maybe what's got the 20% slope.
correct. I'd go with that and then not having a road come out to,
The driveway.
no, oh, right, you're right, the driveway coming out to
Hope.
Hope.
Yeah, you don't need one coming out there.
Right. You can adjust those lots in there and do Woody Wood a little bit. You can do that. But there's still the information we need from engineering.
Yes, crap load.
And it was noted in
They
Mark's
have to
here.
deal with the stormwater, yeah.
Yeah. Have to figure out even that retention pond. You're gonna be able to touch that retention pond? No, it's all grown up.
He doesn't know yet.
Yeah, you can go in and fiddle with them. I've never heard that you can't. I think kind of-
It's over 20 years old, so it needs to be adjusted.
Well, I know it
It'll be
needs-
adjusted.
I know it needs cleaning.
Yeah, but you probably don't want to do anything until you know what your engineering is.
Yeah, so
Correct.
the Veerbeck
I can't
there,
imagine, short of going along Hope Road for stormwater, that you wouldn't include that old one along with the new one. Or,
yeah, you,
or with the addition, or whatever you wanna
yeah,
call
you
it.
don't wanna get rid of the
What's that?
perfectly fine old one.
No. It's just neglected, that's my thought.
Yes.
So. Yeah.
Any other discussions?
Motion to postpone action on this rezoning application till outstanding issues have been resolved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Go ahead, Troy. Troy's got it.
Motion by Chris, second by Troy, to postpone until all of the outstanding engineering
Basically, as Mark
Is
says, it's the
everything.
underlined items in his.
Yeah.
in his
in
memo.
Mark's letter, correct?
Makes sense to us.
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Next item. Review FH Whitty and Sons suggestions for potential future development of 33 acres north of Hope Road near 2924 Hope Road.
Stretch of them, walk around. This is a topo map of the north side of Hope Road. Which is, the buildings are coming down as we speak. And they are in the southeast corner of the north side of Hope Road. And we are, it's wonderful.
Yeah, if you have enough, that'd be great. Do you have that map?
I don't have a topo number.
Okay.
It is the most magnificent piece of ground around, I think.
Then why don't you leave it alone?
Because it's called highest and best use.
No, we would dare use that.
Oh, highest and best use, there's no question about it. The family already has created, what, 130 acres of a wetland, and it's in a wetland program, although a lot of it's
They
hydro.
didn't necessarily create that. I've got the document. We sold those rights. Hope Road.
Yes, they sold those rights for that.
$246,000 to create that.
$1,425 an acre to do the math.
That's fine.
And that was what they chose to do.
Right, it was a choice
And
for the betterment of the town.
How is that not a better?
Because we now have a beautiful piece of land that's can be enjoyed. It's just as I spoke at the board meeting.
Why can't it be left alone then for all of us to enjoy instead of potentially having homes running up the hill to cloud the vision, if you will?
I think that's what we're trying to talk to you about, is that we don't believe that it will cloud the vision.
Or
I thought that tonight was, the purpose was you had some different ideas, this or that, and you're supposed to come with a whole, sorry, it's not the place to probably be saying this, but you're supposed to be coming with a full plan by July. You asked for guidance, so do you have a this or that? Should we go this direction or that direction?
Yes.
We've already talked about all the rest of this before.
Well,
I'm
I know.
getting tired and ordering.
I know, in fairness, we are having to respond to comments from the planning committee regarding, why don't you leave it alone? You decided to go into the wetland preservation. We didn't say it. We
So
didn't
what
even
are
have a
your-
chance to
what do you
present
wanna do?
anything.
What are
That's
your,
right, you need to
this or
propose.
that?
We'd like to, but we have to first respond to these comments that are unprovoked.
Propose something to us.
that's what we're getting to.
Get to it.
Just thought I would tell you and show you the maps and the aerials
Can I see your letter from USDA?
from the, what does that mean?
USDA, do they tell you that they did not buy the development rights?
Mr. Hampton, that's an issue that you said the town was not going to get involved in
Do
from
you-
the start.
So
And
do
that's what we're-
you
that's
have
what we're doing.
development rights?
If we didn't-
To do this?
You know what?
33
If we didn't have development rights, we still have the ability to buy RDUs from other areas and bring that RDU to this land through the TDR program. So I know that is very upsetting to you, Mr. Hampton, about the rights, but you as a town planning board from the first meeting said you don't want to have anything to do with it. That's between you and the county. Every time we come, you bring it up every time to us. We've never brought it back up to you after you as the town said, we don't want to have anything to do with it. So I want to ask you, Mr. Hampton, why are you so angry and upset about this project.
I'm not angry. I just want to know, do you have development rights or do you buy them?
Again, that is a decision that is going to be determined between us and the county, because the town was very clear and we have never crossed that path or that line with any of you since then. And if we do not get the RDUs from the government, as you keep bringing up, then we can talk to other individuals and purchase RDUs and have them come to our land, and then we could still try to move forward. So I don't know what it's going to take for this to be set aside, because we've set it aside. We understand what you as the town planning committee have told us, but every time we come in front of you, Mr. Hampton, you bring that up to us.
So you just want to be put in neighborhood development?
Well, I think
That comes up
that's the
about
end goal.
55 days from now.
Yeah.
We are hoping to have something that wows you. And we thought we would get some input on what you think would be pretty cool. We've had people give us ideas, some of it from your past meetings and thoughts as you've gone on through things. And so we're wondering, and we're here tonight to have you see some of the property. Again, we're open to driving you around through. We had the farmer leave us lanes. He put some soybeans down. We have a driving lane around. We can show you this. Anybody who wants to come, I'll do the tour. Just let me know.
Clerk
And-
Brannigan, sorry to interrupt. Did we get approval to show the video?
He was gonna see if the rest of the committee wants.
I guess the way I would look at it, that's a marketing tool. Showing the aerial view, showing the land is going to be a marketing tool that you guys will probably use, in my opinion, down the road when it comes time to market the property, if it gets that far. I'm sure that all of us in this room have been here enough that these are very nice drone photographs that you provided to get an idea of how the land looks. And I guess I felt that the town shouldn't be part of a future marketing video if you decide to, or it turns out that this becomes lots.
Would it be okay if we made the video available to anybody who wants to watch it? And you can watch it at home if you want. I mean, it's just, we wanted to have you
Didn't they get it all?
understand how
Did you
cool
send it all?
this is.
I have it. I haven't sent it out to everybody
Oh,
yet,
okay.
no, but
I was
can.
unaware that you hadn't sent it out.
I mean, the point of that video is truly to allow you to see the different areas. So then when we talk about what we would like to do, just as Clerk Brannigan said, that's just what we're here for. There's context to how this can be done based upon the shape of the land and also of the views in the different areas. So one picture, that's, that's two-dimensional. The drone we invested in, we did it before this meeting. Like, we had it done right before and got it done yesterday to make sure we had it ready for this committee. Like, we are putting in, as you know, as much effort as we can. Like, we're coming to you, we're talking to you, we're providing you more and more information. We're providing you the best pictures that we have. We're providing you with topography to demonstrate. But I mean, I'm just trying to figure out how can we.
What are you hoping to leave with tonight?
I'm hoping, one, to show the context of the land, and then after we show you the context of the land, then we talk about the specific areas of the drumlin and
I
what we
can't
would
see
do.
this on this map.
It's not the same.
What are you looking to, what answers are you looking to have when you leave tonight?
Because you asked the town, you asked for permission to hire the town engineer and the town planner to help develop your subdivision. Yeah, that's exactly what you did, and we said no.
Okay.
I mean, the town is not in the business of planning your developments, or anybody's developments for that matter.
But
And David, I was kind of upset that you would, after all this time and your experience, that you would actually come to us and actually ask us to facilitate your development. And that's just not how government works. You know, if we have concerns of maybe things we don't like, that's something totally different.
But for us to sit here and say, oh yeah, we'd like this, we'd like this, we'd like this, I'm sorry. And that's how that whole thing came about. And for those of you in the plan commission that maybe weren't aware of that, yeah. So, I mean, if you have something that you dislike, I mean, obviously, kind of, as far as, 1 second.
No, I know, I'm just
Yeah,
raising my hand.
and,
I
dislike,
thought- I thought that you were coming with questions, you know, would you like to see something like
Yes.
this? Would you like to see
Yes.
something like that? I didn't think that we were gonna have to hear the whole.
No, that was not what, when you came to the town board, you asked, well, we kind of want to know what you would like. Do you want to see development? Do you want to see a older function, you know, like a above 55? That'd be really nice up there.
We still want to get there. That's what I was gonna say.
We're ready to go.
Yeah,
I'm like,
we're ready. And to be honest, when I came to the town board, I came to say, can we collaborate?
then
That's what my discussion was,
And if
is,
it's a no, then it's a no.
yeah, and I said, that's fine. And I left. There was no hard feelings.
then let's proceed, please.
Anyway, just for an update, we're getting rid of the buildings. We're doing it soundly. We have, you know, the asbestos is being removed. Things are being recycled as opposed to just being thrown in a box. All the barn board is going to, someday it'll look as pretty as that does. And even the concrete bunkers there are being recycled by, been bought by a person from Iowa or somewhere. So what we have is, we have this roadway, Hope Road. We have land going to the north, hooking on up, getting smaller. You can see how it narrows in track. And it's rising from about 865 elevation on Hope Road up to 910 at the peak. There's actually two peaks there. You can kind of see it on that. Really, when you're at the very far end of the field, looking back, you only see the top of the silos. It's really kind of interesting. So what we are looking at doing for sure is, we feel that the existing driveway that has been the farm driveway for decades and decades, maybe a century, is a crummy location for the driveway. We're seeing that to get the good vision clearance, you gotta move east. And so that's kind of a starting point. We're also looking at two different formations. We look at the pond on the east side, that great big pond that is part of the wetland reserve program. It's gonna just stay like it is, and it's just gorgeous. The green buffer area overlooking the pond, the whole thing is rising up. And so as I get older, I like to look out the window an awful lot. And I'm seeing, gee whiz, could that be there are two levels of senior housing. There's 62, which allows you to have people 62 and over. And then there's 55, where it's more, we want to have people 55 and older. And if you start thinking about senior discrimination kind of stuff in a positive sense. So what we are wondering about, if this interests you, that we would do the exploration of having senior housing there. Just up here, south of 1855, which I'm sure we wish we were all at. There's a totally lovely senior development. They're 55 and older. There are 2-unit buildings. We understand that would take 2 RDUs, unless it doesn't. And we could look at putting some senior housing where you see the middle utility pole, hooking it around and going on up part of the way, overlooking the pond. We think that that's a pretty interesting thought. We believe that seniors would like that. We do not see that you have to cluster seniors next to a grocery store. When my mom, for me, I'm 77, I don't walk to the grocery store, I drive my car to the grocery store. And there's no difference getting to the grocery store really from the south end of Cottage Grove or going down this. So seniors drive, and if you're looking at a 55 and older project, and would that be something that you guys would like to see in a rural area, your township? We think there's a market. We think there's a strong market that seniors prefer to be more isolated and not around kids on their scooters and bicycles. We see they like the idea of nature and quiet. I like the idea of nature and quiet. I'm more senior than all of you. So, and if you say, no, we don't want that, we won't talk about it anymore. But we have heard that you have brought senior housing up in your discussions as you've formulated your town plans. We could do senior housing many times, many times. You look at, got all these rural surrounding communities. Cambridge has got a boat of them, Marshall's got a boat of them, Deerfield.
Where's Marshall's located?
You go.
What's that?
Up by the Pirates Park and
Yeah.
stuff. There's one up there,
Yeah.
northeast side of town. Okay.
And Deerfield's just south of the clinic and the medical clinic. in
Yeah,
Deerfield.
yeah, I'm familiar with where Deerfield
And
is.
Cambridge has got just a boatload on the PQ, is it? So, but we believe there's a good market. We believe that they don't mind the proximity next to each other. A lot of people don't like side-by-side living because of noise transmission. Seniors are a little quieter to the most part than people with kids. And so we could hook in kind of an L-shaped fashion and take advantage of that incredible pond, that overlook there. And then there's all that green space protecting the pond, and that's a lovely deal. It could be condominium style. And for that matter, since I'm rather sensitive to the whole road thing, in the town of Verona, for those who've been around, there is Frost Woods. It's an older subdivision. It was in the woods. It is northeast of Verona, the city, Frost Woods. They just, and it's been around for a long time. As a realtor, I remember hearing about it and how glorious it was 20, 30 years ago. Just south of that, just on the market this spring, is the Valley of Frost Woods or Frost Valley or something like that. It is a 16-unit project. The lots are like 1.5 acres apiece, and it's treated as a condominium. The road is a condominium-owned road. It is not a public road. It's built to real nice standards because this is an expensive area over in the Valley of Frost Woods. Lots, and you can look it up. I can happy to send it to you. The lots literally, and they're probably more than a third sold out, and they're 350,000 apiece. And the houses are being built by Victory Homes, and that's that market over there. It's something to do, I guess, with Epic and the west side of Madison, but that's what they're looking at, is creation of a condo project where it would be if you're familiar with condo language, the lots are really, think of them as lots, but they're a limited condo area is what they're really called. All their condo formation documents are online. Again, I'm happy to send them to anybody that wants to see them. And wouldn't that be interesting to do that And would that be interesting to put the road that inevitably will go up the hill as a condominium-owned road? And from a town point of view, you don't have to maintain it. The people have to maintain it. You don't have to shovel it. They have to provide shoveling. You don't have to replace it 30 years from now. A condominium-owned setup works real well. And there are tons of condominiums. Condominiums started in the state of Wisconsin, I think it was like 1972. And it is a valid form. And people do single lot, single home on the lot, we'll call it. And that works out real well, especially since you great design flexibility. You get to taper it to the land. This land, as you go on up, has got a rise coming on up about halfway. You can see it on the topo that's there as you come off of Hope Road. You go about halfway up that next 40, you see where that circle is. And then north of that, northeast-ish of that, where it says 910, that's the next hump. So there's a hump up and then it tapers on down and humps up again. And you wouldn't see that really from without a topo or driving it. If you drive it, you see it. Then there's kind of a scalloped area on by where the trees are on the east side. And at this time of the year, you see beautiful oak trees. But when the leaves are down, you're looking through the upper portions of the oak trees back at that pond. This is really some remarkable stuff. And we would be able to, with the whole condominium idea, figure it on out. And again, the advantages to the town is you get the tax base and you don't have to pay for a road 30 years down the line.
What kind of concentration are you told, kind of density?
Well, that's a real question of what we believe that we will prevail in having 7 dwelling unit rights. That in fact that the WRP, the Wetland Reserve Program, did not acquire those. And so we would have 7 that way. And if we go into the neighborhood development area, which is what you guys are going to decide about 55 days from now, if you go into that and we do 10, then 7 and 10 would be 17. If we do the seniors, that's a greater concentration. And if you like that, you could imagine we could acquire, and we're in the neighborhood development area, we could acquire another one and put 5 buildings, ranch style, similar to what's just south of 1855, hooking around and overlooking that pond. One of the things that you'll find is that you'll find that people who build single family homes in the uplands have their mom or dad down living in the senior housing so they can be close. That is a real thing that happens in the market. The first time I had that was in about 1985 on Lake Ridge Street in Deerfield. She bought a whole duplex. Mom lived next door and she was able to do for her. That is a beautiful thing. And so you have the opportunity to have something that you just don't have everywhere else. And we can pull that off, but there's no sense in, again, we were going to come to you 55 days from now and have 2 or 3 approaches. One would be, do you want it as a condominium where you don't have any road responsibilities for the whole thing? Do you want to just have some senior housing condominium? Because that works real well. Seniors don't want to do yard work. That's why they go into condominiums. And so we would make that a condo as opposed to the whole project being a condo. Or do you want something more conventional, something like Vinnie's Flat or Kennedy Hills, both of which are lovely areas? And then there's questions also of all these buildings are coming down. It'll probably be another month because we're doing it responsibly. We aren't just throwing everything into the dumpster, even though it's all close to the town or to the county dump. Well, that is the Door Creek. You can see it on these maps and stuff. The Whitty Farm owns land on Door Creek like crazy. And it is really lovely. Every time we go there, we see deer or now sandhill cranes. We see everything. And so we're looking at maybe the thing to do instead of a tot lot park like you have out on Kennedy Hills. You got a bunch of swing sets and stuff. And sometimes the kids stay in their own yards when they have swing sets, and sometimes they go into the park. Sit out there and watch it. You'll see it on a Saturday. You've got several tot lots, but we could have a trailhead down by the creek, letting people look at the creek. The creek, Dave Whitty here, the county people or the DNR or somebody is coming out and fiddling with the creek bottom, getting it so it flows better. And then we would have a walking path through that and looking at the creek. And we could have, instead of a conventional tot lot park, which you really have a lot of already. Oh my God, there's one off up in the Banizak subdivision that I didn't know about until I just happened to be up there, even though I've sold houses up there. We would have a trailhead. We'd have a little parking area, and we, as a plat for the 10 lot, and as a plat for more, we have a responsibility to give land and or money, and we could make something really nice that is an alternative to everything else you have. Again, we've taken numerous people, including our engineers and everybody. There is a driveway, a roadway that you can drive. It's where the cattle used to be pastured. That go way on up. It's almost a mile up until you hit plowed fields on the farm to the north. Sure. And we could make a very nice walk area.
Well, I appreciate, that part of it, the walking path and so on and so forth. At this particular point in time, I think our biggest concern is, like you said, you laid out your building layout, okay? The ancillary stuff, to go along with it, I think that's, farther down the road. The thing that I would want to see at some point in time, because it's the new thing these days, is a traffic study on Hope Road from Phyllis, because it'll pick up Capitol View subdivision and go all the way down to somewhere down south of South Hope, going this way, because of the fact that I don't know how much traffic is used on Hope every day. And if we're talking some fairly concentrated type of development down there, that's going to be additional traffic coming out to Hope Road. I think there could be if it's something does happen, there could be there is room for an intersection away from down here, farther away from South Hope. But I just think we need to have an idea for traffic counts and whether or not the current stretch of the road is gonna, I don't know how many cars in and out and that kind of stuff. I know we are gonna have to take that into account.
This one, I just thought of something when you were talking about that. It'd be a really cool opportunity to put your main entrance to the whole thing, where the farmhouse is right now, and make a traffic circle right there at that big intersection. That'll slow down your traffic.
Would.
Yeah, make that intersection a little bit more palatable, because it is so
The
weird.
creek, it gets awful close there, and nobody's gonna put $1 million traffic circle out in the middle of nowhere. Your road, I believe, is called the Town Connector Road and has good capability, but that would be fine to have a traffic study.
But
Can we
12 and
get any comments
18
back here?
is a major highway, and look at the roundabouts they're putting in there to slow traffic down. And so I'm concerned, but again, we don't have numbers, and it's just one of the things to add to the pot. To see what comes of it. That's all I'm wondering. Yes, sir.
Let me, I don't know if you want to.
No, go ahead.
So I own part of this conservation land, and David, I don't know if you've read the contracts on that?
Oh, yeah. Are you Mr. Seaver?
Yes, I am.
Hi.
Hi, so, I mean, obviously, the pathways through the conservation land, there's a lot of conditional use, actually, there's a lot of things that are restricted through that, you're gonna have to go through the USDA, so I'm assuming you
Yes.
at least,
We have tracked down the person in charge.
okay. Not that I don't have any concerns, but I just wanna make sure, because from my understanding that, I have a lot, just to get a trail mowed around the perimeter
Yes.
was a heroic feat of whatever your federal.
NRCS.
And so I just want to make sure, that is a something I've had to encounter. And I want to make sure you are aware of that as well. It sounds like you have been.
What the WRP program has great restrictions, nothing that earns you money. You can't pasture it, you can't harvest on it, you can't do anything. But it also talks about being able to do conservation style units. The parking area and trailhead would be more by the farmhouse when that comes down next week or 2 weeks, when it is. We're working with fire departments to see if anybody wants to practice burn. And so that's not in the conservation area. I know we're not gonna get a trailhead and a parking lot in it, but we think we can get the ability to walk it. And if not, you can just walk it and have a marked trail over grass.
Yep.
And so that kind of thing, or we can mow a thing as you've gotten it. We believe the office in control of this is on the west side of Madison. And we will go in person to the lady and talk with her and see, what do you want to do? This is a very unique property, which is why they took so much of it into the program. Right in it, it talks about protecting Door Creek. And they're also, David met with the person who's doing cleaning of it. And when they clean it, they're gonna put the spoils on the west side because this is the cool side. Is how I saw it. So it's a real thought.
I'm sorry, I have a diabetic dog I have to get home to, but two things. One, I'm just wondering how any kind of building up on the hillside is within the comprehensive plan that we have for the township. I know other communities like the town of Dunn and such have really worked hard to keep green space and sort of boundaries from having, pockets of subdivisions, pockets of homes, pockets of things up on hillsides and how that looks. And then the other thing is there any possibility that we could take this beautiful land that we've all enjoyed and love looking at and make it into a park completely? Take that area, that 33 acres, and work with the county somehow, and not just have the walking trails on the Door Creek that floods all the time, but also up into the hillside and look out over the beautiful land and the pond that has otters and eagles and all kinds of things. Like, is there any way that I don't know how that happens. Like McCarthy Park initially started out as a youth conservation park and now is a Dane County park. really, really heavily used. And we don't have anything like that here in our township. And wouldn't that be nice to have land that could be used in that way and enjoyed by everybody? And I obviously, this is your family's legacy, and I'm not, don't mean anything personally, but I also think if you pull back and look at the big picture, are there other things we could do besides dropping dense housing units that's going to put 55, 60, 70-year-olds driving out on Hope Road to get into town or go into Madison? I don't know. I think the
55-year-olds.
traffic study is a
Offended by that,
really good
ma'am.
idea.
I might be offended by that.
What's that?
I'm offended by
Well,
that.
I'm 67. I've been a nurse. I've worked with elderly people, and I think honestly, it's a main bike route for people to ride that are out training and doing bike rides out there. I just think, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if there's grant money. I don't know. We have money in our budget, right? The parks and history section. I know, but I'm a dreamer. So what? You know, like is there something we can do that would enhance the area rather than dropping another subdivision? Condos, I think I would probably move, honestly, if I had to drive past that every day. I really find that to just be not in
everybody
keeping
always
with
says
what
that.
I'm living out here for. I remember going by, helping round up Buttercup, your cow that would get out all the time on the road, and just enjoying the whole rural landscape. And how many farms do we even have actively in this township anymore? It's just really sad. And if that's part of our vision and our comprehensive plan, how are we staying true to that? I guess those are just, they're rhetorical. You don't have to answer them. I don't want to get into a big development discussion and a sales pitch. I just feel like I'm representing a number of people in my subdivision that feel really strongly about this. And we moved out here for this reason. You know, we're 12 miles as the crow flies from Madison, but it's so wonderful and peaceful to live in an area that's not crazy developed. And Madison's marching out to us fast enough. Is there any way, this is a precedent. Once this land is gone, it's gone. So.
And that, of course, is what they said on the Bonsack subdivision. It's called Capital Subdivision.
Mhm.
Capital View.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what they said 30 years ago when that was happening. And it was a beautiful woods, and now it has houses everywhere. And that's what having people in your
Right, but
community.
you're talking
Same
about,
as your subdivision.
Yeah, I
Your
mean-
subdivision at one time was also a
Mhm.
beautiful piece of land, a beautiful piece of woods. But when it was your opportunity to buy, you were happy with it. And so, just please keep that in mind too as we.
no, I am, and I'm not trying to be offensive.
We have a lot of people who love to enjoy the spoils, but aren't willing to give up or recognize.
So we've
what they've
also in
taken.
that neighborhood worked really hard to try and keep the green space around the neighborhood and work with the other landowners. So
There was 2 lots that just have houses on it. I didn't see the neighbors buying them. You could have had 2 more green spaces.
those were already zoned to be built on, so it wasn't anything.
Well, they were in the last couple of years. They were available.
Like I said, just my thoughts.
We have a long way to go, whichever direction it goes. Anything else?
So we'll come with 2 or 3 approaches, and one of them will be, I'm not hearing you guys throw it out the door when we say the word seniors. We all are.
Lot of gray hair in this room.
The best you can do is come back with a couple ideas and throw it at us.
All right. What's that?
I like your idea about doing more of, the hiking trail versus another playground set.
And another playground.
Yeah.
Really nice down there.
Again, we appreciate the opportunity to be on the agenda. We came here with ideas. We're looking for feedback. And I hope that the video is able to be shared with everybody, so you do get the perspective of not just looking at the picture and the topo, but actually seeing the different views and the contours of the land. And
So I got a simple question. Somebody came up with a number for you. What number would you accept if they just wanted to buy the chunk of land?
That would be really hard.
Not really. What would you want?
Not for sale.
Phone number. What do you?
No, I'm asking you.
That goes the other way.
Negotiation.
You know what, to be honest, I haven't even thought about it because I know what the land is raised at. But I also know what the true value of the land is, you know, so.
There's, yeah, there's the land and then the improvements, but you could sell the land. Why not?
Develop, and then they give an area, on each of those units.
Space, all of
They
them.
got a lot of money.
Why not?
I mean, I think it's obvious, I'm sorry, to cut off, but like,
I mean, you can look at it.
this is an option, right? This is an opportunity that we're bringing to you. If someone who's watching or hears of this comes to me and my family and provides us with a number that works for us as well as works for the town, you know, I mean,
Sorry, Brian, don't worry about the tower.
no, I'm saying, well, we have to, right? Because I'm just saying, like, I don't know what you're trying to, I feel like you're trying to paint me into a corner.
No, no.
That's what I do. And I'm not gonna go down that path.
The point is that your land, and if you have something number where somebody says, you know, we'd like to create a park space or walking area, whatever it be, what would you sell? That's my question to you. That's it. Simple. Because in the end, it's your property.
Yeah.
You can sell it, close it how you want to. It's in the rules. Okay? So if you sold it, and developed it, would you want to have it? That's the question. It's the only question I have for you.
Don't need to answer.
Don't even answer anything. That was the question. Make a motion to adjourn.
Nope, got one more item yet.
Okay.
Elect commission chair and secretary.
Thank you.
Commission chair.
Yes, correct. It's that time of the year.
I will make a motion to elect the Andrews as commission chair.
Motion and second to elect Steve Andrews as chairperson for the next year. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Kim had talked about a secretary.
No, there's always been a secretary.
I know, but I think you have to be aware that if something happens that Kim isn't here, and the person actually,
And that's what it's always been, so I just, you know, it needs to be somebody that will do it. I see some of these other committees that have a struggle with that.
And we have a new person coming in, is that true?
Mary Robbins.
No, that's the part that would say something, maybe if she has an interest in it.
That will be until July, so you are the current secretary, right?
I think I am.
No, we haven't used this last year, no, I've been here.
I
every
think he's
meeting.
done a splendid job, too, so let's do it again.
Sorry?
Hey.
Few.
You wanna-
Well, I do take copious notes,
Yeah,
so.
It ain't broke, let's not try to fix it.
yeah, give her a year to figure out what it is.
Okay. I didn't know, she had been in the system before though.
She's on the parks committee.
Okay.
So is someone gonna make a motion?
I was filled by lack of a second too.
I'll second it.
Who made it?
I don't know.
No, I didn't.
I didn't.
I will.
Okay. Motion by Mark, second by Andrews to appoint Mr. Mule as de facto secretary for the committee, for the commission.
You call it
Get rid of the word de
backup
facto.
secretary.
Well, sometimes the secretary has to sign, like some of the resolutions and stuff have that. too.
It's a formal elected position.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Now
Motion
next
to
item.
adjourn.
Motion by Chris, second by Troy to adjourn, no discussion. We are out. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate everybody's efforts tonight. I truly do. We had a marathon